And here we go. Braylon Edwards here with Stickson, filling in for Ryan Armani. Ryan won't be here today, buddy. We will see you tomorrow.
Feel better, Ryan.
Definitely miss you. Oh, my God. Matt Stafford.
We're going to talk about him a little bit today. We're going to talk about another guy named Joe Burrow a little bit today. We mentioned a guy named Cade Cunningham a little bit today. We had a triple-double last night. But, I mean, topic A, B, C, and D is NFL football. Yeah. And, my goodness, the last 2 weeks have been nothing but a gift from the NFL gods. I mean, last week's playoffs, this week's playoffs, I didn't think could match last week's playoffs. And yesterday, 2 great games.
Maz, let me ask you this question. When's the last time you've seen 6 games in a row, 2 back-to-back weekends that were all A-plus games?
Never. And I've been watching football for 52 years. I've never seen a season like this season. It's been phenomenal. And the playoffs have been great. The wild card, not so great. Yeah. But the last bunch of games, just amazing. And I think we're going to get a great Super Bowl, too.
It's going to be an interesting Super Bowl. Yeah. We know that. That's definitely there. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think we can get into this conversation a little bit later on, but when I look at the Cincinnati Bengals, worst to first, worst to Super Bowl, not even worst to first and then get bounced from the playoffs, worst to Super Bowl, and then you get Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl. It hurts both ways as a Lions fan. It's like, well, wait, that's what we could be, and that's what we could have been.
But that's why everybody was so mad at Stafford, because that's what they expected. You know, obviously there's a lot of other things that were negligent involved, the front office. It's about consistency at the end of the day. It's about being in the same room. Stafford had how many coaches, how many offensive coordinators? You can never get into a rhythm with that. Soon as he walked out there to L.A., and we talked about it, and a lot of people, I owe him an apology as well in terms of talking about the Seth Wickersham interview and blah, blah, blah. But as soon as he walked into that Rams organization, as soon as he walked into the building, it just felt more relaxed. Sean McVay, his coaching staff, they have been in place for some time. They have a situation like that. It was comfortable. It was more easy versus every year what I got to do. Who's going to be offensive coordinator? Who's going to be my quarterback's coach? Who's going to be the head coach? So, yeah.
Yeah, well, he went into a system that was already fully functioning. Yeah. Like, he really didn't have to go in there and lift the team to anything. Yeah. He just had to go in there and not drop the ball, and he's done that. And then when times have showed up for him to take the team over the top and take them to that next level, he did it. I wasn't too impressed with the win against Arizona, right? I felt like anybody could have quarterbacked the Rams during that win, and it would have been fine. Now, coming back against the GOAT with 42 seconds left, you got to give him his flowers for that.
And I quote, I snatched their soul.
And went to a dark place.
He did. I don't think we've ever seen him go to that dark place.
I was just going to say that. Like, we heard about Dagger Time and stuff like that.
He was very Disney.
He
was very Disney. He went to Showtime for that game.
Yeah, and you see, like, the Staffords are almost completely different people now that they're in L.A. You know, like, Matthew Stafford has that, like you said, he goes to that dark place. Kelly Stafford's on, like, all these television shows in L.A. and stuff. Yeah. They were never out and about and so spoken to the press and everything here. Maybe because the press kind of beat them up a little bit.
Very true.
But it's a honeymoon period out there, and they're enjoying the hell out of it.
They're enjoying the hell of it, but rightfully so, though. You know, one thing you got to do, and shout out to Adam Beydoun. You did a hell of a job. Hell of a job with the dancers, the hookahs, the goat mask. Adam Beydoun called this from the jump. It's just so interesting the way in which this playoff run is happening for Stafford, and even if you include the season, you know, they won the NFC West. If you include the playoff run, he beats a pedestrian Cardinals that are falling apart, doesn't do much, 13-17, you know, doesn't do much, gets a win. Second game, snatches the soul on that play to Cooper Kupp at the end of the game. You know, they get that win against the GOAT. They advance to the NFC Championship. They could have whooped the 49ers, and you would have been like, all right, well, you know, that's Jimmy Garoppolo and blah, blah, blah. The fact that they got down, the fact that they needed Stafford to be Stafford, like some of those throws that he was making in the third quarter, especially the fourth quarter, one where Odell got hit in the personal foul, Cooper Kupp on the right sideline, like he legitimately was trying to show everybody, I am going to show you today, beyond shadow of a doubt, everything I said in that Seth Wickersham interview, I meant. I wanted moments. I wanted to prove who I was, and goddamn it, he did it.
Hey, both teams were down. 18 points. The Bengals were down. They come back. Biggest playoff comeback. And then 13 unanswered points by the Rams to close out the Niners. And then a great defensive stand. They made Jimmy Garoppolo have to beat them because they took the run away from the 49ers. And of course, it worked.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, like, I guess we'll get into the Chiefs and the Bengals. But the first thing I have to say is shame on Andy Reid.
Oh,
shame on Andy Reid at the end of the half. And I say it because of this. That play that they ran to Tyreek Hill, the shuffle pass, et cetera, that's not the play you run in a situation like that. 5 seconds, you have a chance to take a shot to the end zone. Travis Kelce, spread him off far, get him matched up on a linebacker or a safety, quick shot, boom, boom, doesn't work. You legitimately run a shuffle screen or that little shuffle pass, that's not the type of play you run. You legitimately at least need a 3 because it's all about mentality, Maz. And I apologize for the text yesterday, but I'm explaining it from having been in an NFL type situation. It's a mental thing. So if you get 3 points there, right, now it's 24-11. You're like, cool, we got 3. We drove down there. We're still in control. Oh, by the way, we get the ball. So now you're still playing confident. You're still playing comfortable, and you still trust the game plan. You're trusting the process. You go all the way down there. You don't get any points out of that. What it does is it messes up your mental because you go into the locker room depressed. In the AFC Championship in 2009, the 2009 season, I was with the Jets. We played against the Colts. We were winning at halftime, but right before the half, we got an interception. And Brian Schottenheimer, I can't stand Brian Schottenheimer, played for a field goal. Guess what happened? Stick missed the field goal.
Yep.
Jay Feely missed the field goal. Jay never misses inside the 40. Misses the field goal. And Peyton, a.k.a. the Sheriff, 30 seconds, he goes down there and scores a touchdown, throws it to Austin Collie. So even though we were up 4 at the half and we got the ball back, we were dejected.
Thanks for reminding me.
We were. I was on the team.
I'll never forget that.
I remember looking into the eyes of certain individuals. I won't say any names, and you could just see that they were acting as if we had lost or we were losing. That's the same thing. You don't get that touch. You don't get any points on that. That's a dejection type situation, and that mental. They never really responded after that play.
The Bengals had not stopped them up to that point. They literally stopped themselves when they did not score. And I said, all right, 5 seconds, they'll still score a touchdown here.
Exactly.
And I'm like, they're going to take a quick 3-4 seconds, that's it. If no one's open, it throws it away, here comes the field goal. But they did that shuffle pass, and it blew up in their face.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like these coaches just get ahead of themselves, and they start outthinking themselves. And honestly, I think this year in the NFL has really taken the analytics and proven that analytics can be very wrong in a lot of situations. Like, that may have been by the book. You can go for it on 4th down there. But I'm with you. Whenever I'm playing anything, I want to keep the pressure on my opponent. And the only thing that you can do is keep piling on points, especially when you're up. Yeah. So I understand if you're chasing points to try to go for it and get the touchdown there. But when you're up, you kick the field goal. You go up 13. Okay, that's not a 2-touchdown lead. But guess what? You kick another field goal, you're up 16.
Exactly.
Now that's 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. It just makes it tougher. And anytime you take it easy on your opponent in something like that, you're literally opening the door. And honestly, I thought Kansas City was going to – I told people I would bet my house, I would bet my life, I would bet my dog that Kansas City was going to win that game.
Especially after the last 2 games that they played in.
Well, and Cincinnati could barely move the ball against Tennessee. You know, it's just like, okay, so what are they going to do against Kansas City? And Kansas City jumped out to the 21-3 lead. I was telling Fish, because I was with Fish on Sunday, I was like, look, man, this is going to be 42-0. I said they're going to lose by 30, and Fish corrected me. He's like, no, there's still a lot of game to be played. Next thing you know, they're in overtime.
Yeah, I said 45-17, and at the end of the day, it wasn't 45-17. I was wrong about that, but they could have got to 45-17 if they get that field goal. 2 things I want to say. One, a lot of times everybody's always trying to replace Tom Brady. You're trying to replace Aaron Rodgers. Every year it's who's the next guy. Mahomes is the guy, and I know Sam loves Mahomes. The difference between players like the Sheriff, the GOAT, Aaron Rodgers, insert Joe Montana, the great ones, and I know Mahomes is still young. That situation with 5 seconds left, Tom Brady wouldn't allow that play to 1, be called. 2, he wouldn't have taken that much time. 3, probably would have known which play to call. He would have had the respect in the ear of the head coach, Belichick, or now Bruce Arians. That's one of those situations where things that Tom, Sheriff, those guys do, it is invaluable, and that's why they're the greatest, man. It's tough, man. It's tough to watch.
Yeah, to be able to have that amount of excellence and consistency of excellence, it's amazing what Tom Brady did, and we'll talk about him, obviously, coming up later on in the show because he may be retired. He may not be retired.
Tonight's his show, by the way. He goes on with Jim Gray tonight. You could hear the announcement tonight.
You think he's going to be like LeBron and take his talents to South Beach?
You know what? If I were him, I would take my talents to guess where? You told me last week. San Francisco.
It's a perfect opportunity, man. Perfect. Hey, can we do something real quick? We got to give the big uglies, the big guys up front. We got to give the big guys up front from the Cincinnati Bengals some love.
They hang on there.
Got to give them some credit. Yes, they gave up 2 sacks. But they gave up 9 sacks the week before. Yep. And they were hearing it all in the media. They were hearing from us. They were hearing it from their fans, their friends, their family, etc. You guys got to be better. You got to be better. They heard that all week. The way they protected to a certain extent. And then Joe Burrow made some hell of a plays, and we'll get into that.
His mobility is insane.
For them to be a really bad offensive line, I felt like they played really good, and they gave Joe Burrow as well as Zach Taylor the best opportunity to win that game. You got to give them a lot of love.
Yeah, if you look at them, I mean, they're 30th in the league against the rush and against sacks.
Against the pass.
Yeah, and the Rams are number 1 against sack and the quarterback. So we could see an interesting Super Bowl and a dominant defensive line performance by the LA Rams.
They're going to be home.
They are going to be home. But does that matter? There was no home field advantage at SoFi yesterday.
2 years in a row.
How embarrassing as a Rams fan was that?
They did much better than they did the last game against the Niners.
Still, I put out a tweet yesterday, like, if we ever play Chicago on a home game in the playoffs, 5 hours is the same distance from San Francisco to L.A. that it is from here to Chicago. If we ever got punked in Ford Field like that, I would be so embarrassed. So embarrassed.
Yeah. The first time I actually really heard the Los Angeles crowd was when Cooper Kupp tied the game up.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first time the whole game
they got into it in the fourth
that I knew somebody was there that wasn't wearing red.
Yeah.
Like I was like, whoa.
Well, that's when they show up, the LA fans. They show up in the 6th inning, and they show up in the 4th quarter.
This is true. Lot of mimosas going on.
They don't deserve a Super Bowl, though, those fans. Honestly, if you can let that happen to your home stadium, you don't deserve a Super Bowl. The fans don't. The team does.
Right.
The fans don't.
Dang.
Hey, that's the house that Stan Kroenke built. That's all his money. Remember we talked about him last week, just understanding how to bring in winners, coaches, winning environment. He was with the Nuggets and then the Rams, and he kind of turned all that around. Avalanche, too.
Oh, I remember. Did he sell that?
I forget.
He sold one of the I think he sold the Nuggets. I think he sold the Nuggets, but he still owns the Avalanche and the Rams. Yeah. Just experience, years and years of experience. And also, what have we said about the forwards? What was our biggest concern? They don't seem like they're really invested. Not now. But before this year.
Sheila is. Exactly. I'm a firm believer in 100%. Sheila is, and I hate when people say the Fords suck, and it's like, okay, the previous ones did, but I like what I've seen out of Sheila so far, so I hate throwing her in the mix, even though it's her last name. There's nothing you can do about it.
Hey, let's take her. Let's just say Hemp, because we'll call her Hemp in this situation.
The Hemp ownership.
But the Ford family has never seemed like they really were invested in trying to win and do all it took to go all in and win, and that's the difference between what you're seeing with the Rams versus the situation here.
That's what I was just going to say. Well, one team went all in. I mean, they don't have a draft pick till 2024. That is the Rams, and we're going to talk more about them and Matthew Stafford coming up next right here on The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani.
I'm Edwards.
That is Braylon Edwards. We'll be right back.
Bottom Line.
Hi, I'm Cade, Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Les Stafford. I mean, if you're looking for a new car or you got a lease that you want to get out of, they are your lease get out of experts. They will take that car, and right now you can get some great trade-in values. I was actually doing some online shopping the other day at letsstanford.com. I was checking out their inventory because, I got a 2015, maybe time to upgrade. And honestly, 2015s are selling for a lot right now because of the shortage in chips, and it has heated seats and stuff. So I was like, oh, what am I doing? Yeah. Went to Les Stafford, and you know what? This may be a move that I have to make just because it makes sense not only financially, but it's nice to get into a new car with people that you trust. So
sounds like Stafford going to L.A., right?
There you go. There you go. I'll be sitting riding high, baby. Yeah. So if you're looking to get into a new ride, make sure you check out Les Stafford. Give them a call today, 313-565-3000, or online at lesstanford.com. Find new roads.
Find them.
Welcome back. This is The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. Hopefully he gets better.
Good to have
is
you.
in
We love
here.
you, Ryan.
Good to have you, Stick.
Thanks, Maz. I always appreciate the invite. We got Sam, we have Alex, and of course the one, the only Braylon Edwards.
Thank you, sir.
And we've been talking, obviously, about the big playoff games, Championship Sunday yesterday. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the LA Rams comeback against the 49ers. I mean, there's several instances I think we can point to this game where big moments happened. One of the biggest moments I thought was a moment that didn't happen, that dropped interception for Matthew Stafford, because after that it looked like the Rams went on a roll. Not only did they get that completion to Odell Beckham, you get the cheap hit, that's an extra 15 yards,
Yes, sir.
turns into a 35-yard play. They're basically in field goal range right after that, and the game momentum shifted from that. And when they showed Aaron Donald on the sideline yelling at his defense, I don't know what he said, but all I know is that defense came out on those next 3 possessions and shut them down. How does something like that happen? How does momentum shift like that so fast?
When you have your best player, and your best player who's arguably the best defensive player of all time, and if you don't believe that, well, Lawrence. he's right under Lawrence, but he's
even
under.
if you're in the same sentence.
Exactly. When you have that individual like challenge you, he's a big man, a strong man. He doesn't speak often. See, that's what the value is when a person, especially a leader, doesn't yell often or doesn't say much often. That's how my stepfather is. My stepfather, Charles Player, he won't read you often. You know, he won't give too much advice. But the one time he does say something to you, you know to listen. You know what's fair. And that's what it was with him. You got Aaron Donald talking to you. Whatever you're feeling, whatever injury is nagging you, whatever you're going through, whatever play that you didn't get last time, you forget about it because now you got to play for Aaron and you're scared of Aaron. It's just a hell of a game, man. And the San Fran should have won. Like San Fran.
It could have, for sure.
If you go 3 plays, within 3 plays, 3rd and 2, horrible play call. They don't get it.
Yep.
Then they punt. The second play of the drive is the interception drop. Like, that literally could have been the game in those 2 plays.
I thought when they stopped him on 3rd down or on 4th down in the 3rd quarter, I thought that was like, oh,
that was
wow.
a hell of a stop.
Yeah, and they didn't do anything with it, though.
The one thing going back to Stafford, because this should be about Stafford. This is Detroit. Stafford's in the Super Bowl, and he played well. He did the plays necessary to get them to the next round, to get them to the Super Bowl. Let's talk about him. There was always times, because we're Detroit. We've watched him for 12 years, now this being the 13th. You're like, oh, Stafford's going to be Stafford. Stafford's going to do some Stafford stuff. He didn't get an opportunity to do some Stafford stuff against Arizona.
Right.
But then insert the next game, Tom Brady go. You saw, like, there was a couple plays in that game where you're like, he's about to do some Stafford stuff, and he didn't do it. And even with the interception in that game, you're like, here it is. This is Stafford being Stafford. He just had resilience. He had resolve, and he made the plays. He stood in there. He took the hits. Matt Stafford, man, got a lot of respect yesterday for me.
The one thing I
took a
noticed that
beating,
he's
too.
kind of changed about his game is what always used to make me scared when Stafford was the quarterback for the Lions is when he'd get happy feet. He'd start patting his feet very fast. And that's when he would make the mistakes. You saw it early in the game yesterday, and he was throwing a couple balls behind receivers early in the game, and he was patting his feet. Watch that. It's something I focus on with Stafford. But late in the game, you're right. He was Tom Brady back there just bouncing and sitting and reading the defense and waiting. And when he's not operating ahead of himself and he's on time, that's when Matt Stafford is the best. And you can even go back to his time here in Detroit when Calvin Johnson retired and they took him to more of a game manager role under Jim Bob Cooter. He had some of the best numbers of his career because that's when Stafford is operating at his best.
Stafford trusts Sean McVay. Stafford trusts the players that are on that Rams team.
Yeah.
What you have to see with that team yesterday, just from the offensive side, Maz, everybody made plays when their time was called. You have to give a lot of credit to the offensive side of the ball in terms of being ready. When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Like, literally, Higbee goes down.
Right.
Blanton's the last tight end standing. Blanton made hell of a plays, like 4 catches, 3 for first downs. Like, that's called being ready. That's called stepping up. That's called we brought you here for a reason, or we drafted you for a reason. Cam Akers, when they called on him, they didn't use him much, but when they did call on him, he was ready. Vance Jefferson in the 4th quarter made 2 huge catches on the right sideline. Odell was like, oh, I'm the problem. I'm going to show you today. You know what I'm saying? And then Cooper Kupp's the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, and it's him and Devontae are 1A, 1B.
And how the hell does Cooper Kupp keep getting wide open in big moments? Nothing has pissed me off more watching this past 2 weeks.
My wife is screaming, saying, How is he always open?
Just
Don't
cover
they
the guy.
guard him?
Double team him. Triple. Like, what does he have to do to get a defensive coordinator to be like, you know what? We're shutting down Cooper Kupp. Anybody else can beat us. How does this man? Is it disrespect? Is it he's invisible out there? Or like we've heard this too. It's because he's white. I've heard that he's a white guy that nobody really respects his game.
So the white part would have been his first 3 years, and that's definitely real. Larry Bird said that in the 80s, so we know this to be a real thing. He said they put that white boy on me. He was
disrespectful.
Disrespect. The reason why he's wide open all the time is what Matt Stafford said in that interview to Steve Young last week, and everybody was like, he said, this is the best wide receiver ever to play with. Everybody in Detroit is like, how would you disrespect Calvin Johnson? Hall of Famer, first ballot, how would you do it? If you read into what Stafford was saying, he wasn't saying from the standpoint of most athletically gifted and all that, and he wasn't trying to throw shade to Calvin. Big wide receivers, because I am one, we run certain routes. We run comebacks, we run out routes, we run the big dig, we run go routes, we run quick fades, we run slants. Cooper Kupp runs every route in the playbook, but also what he does, Cooper knows the defenses. Yeah. Like Cooper studies defenses. So Matt can trust him that he knows what the concept or the identity of a defense is. So it will help him run routes and know where that soft zone is going to be, know where the weak man is going to be. He studies hard. That's why Matt Stafford made that comment. He's the most cerebral wide receiver that he's ever played with.
Hey, 9 and 10 have been together since a year ago, because it was a year ago yesterday that the trade went down. And, of course, they win the NFC Championship. He goes to his first Super Bowl. But since that day he signed on the dotted line, him and Cooper Kupp have been working together day in and day out. Their families get together. Kelly hangs out with Anna Kupp. You heard her in her on her podcast. They're best of friends. They are one. Stafford and Kupp are one.
Can you throw that picture back up, Alex? Did this picture not rip out your soul?
Yeah, it's an awesome picture.
It's a picture of Matthew Stafford in a Rams uniform hugging Matthew Stafford in a Lions uniform, and it's almost like he's like, bro, I'm sorry. Like,
that's my Instagram.
That's on your Instagram?
Picture. That's all
that hurts me to look at, man.
It's beautiful.
No. All right, so let me explain this picture. Leave it up there. I'm going to explain this picture. You know what this picture is? This is Matt Stafford from this year winning the NFC West, heading to the Super Bowl, having snatched the soul from Tom Brady to do it. But you know what that Rams Matthew Stafford is whispering in the ear of the Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford?
I'm trying to reach you about your extended car warranty?
Nope. You know what he's saying? He said, listen, I appreciate you. He said, all the that you've been through, for you to stay resilient. They tried to break him in Detroit. Don't get me wrong. He had some fault in that too, but they tried to break him in Detroit. Every year, whether it's a new coach, whether it's a new quarterback's coach.
He had 20 coaches.
Exactly. 20 coaches.
But he's got a new coach this year and a new system, and he's doing fine.
No, the real deal.
But you know the difference? Their system has been in place in L.A., so it's
proven.
It's new to him, but he walked in. You can just feel it. When I left Cleveland, after 3 head coaches, 4 offensive coordinators, when I walked into the Jets, just felt different. You know what I'm saying? The energy. Now, offense wasn't necessarily great, but just the energy, the vibe, and the relaxation.
Until the Jets jetsed again.
Well, that's when I left.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
Well, and it's got to feel good
again
to go to a team that you know is all in.
Yeah.
They've pushed their chips all in. They went and got Von Miller. They went and got OBJ.
Yeah.
They went and got all of these guys. So it's got to feel nice to know that your upper tier management wants to win at all costs. Period.
OBJ has revolutionized and you talked about. I'm gonna give you credit for that. OBJ has revolutionized the possession receiver.
Yep.
And like 10 years ago, when we talked possession receivers, after about my 6th year, they would have called me a possession receiver because I was tall. They'll call Musa and Mahana a possession receiver.
Hushmanzada,
a possession receiver. Odell Beckham still fast, still can get active, still can run, but he understands the zones, the soft spot. Odell Beckham is a more athletic, a more skilled version of what Tom Brady and the Patriots were doing with their wide receivers for the 20 years.
I think he wants it more than Matthew Stafford even wants it.
100%.
He's a new man. He is a new. When he got hit, when that was a head-to-head hit, helmet-to-helmet hit, he just looked at the guy and he's like, "Why'd you do that?"
Right.
Did you see?
He's mature,
the old
which is
Odell,
weird.
The old Odell would have grabbed him by the face mask and went after him and got a penalty. This new Odell, he's playing with house money.
Yeah, Odell would have got his ass kicked by the kicker's net.
That's right.
I know, right? Remember he hugged it like the week later?
The next game.
Remember we talked about the Detroit Lions this year in terms of them being so young and not having a lot of experienced players that could help them and guide them along. So it took them, 10 weeks, 11 weeks to really get going and start having some experience where they can see things. That same thing happened with Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham didn't have a veteran wide receiver because Victor Cruz left like his second year.
Yeah.
So he didn't have that guy that could pull him to the side. They didn't have a lot of veteran leadership in New York. You know better than anybody. So he had to, and especially as high valued and how popular he was, he had to learn all that kind of on his own. And he's now in a space. He's relaxed. He's chill. He's learned. He's stubbed his toe. He just wants to win.
And he loves where he's at.
Yeah.
Hell, he lives in L.A.
Well, think about all the pressure that's not on him because of Cooper Kupp, too. I mean, think of how much is alleviated off that. Like when you're game planning to defend the Rams, you gotta focus on Cooper Kupp, and then you got Odell Beckham. That's a tough.
He's a new man.
I got a quarterback
I think
question.
Robert Woods stays in L.A. I think they use all three of them next year.
Hey.
I got a quarterback question for you next.
Ready.
And, it's not in the prep, but I've been thinking about this, and I want to hear it
Let's
from
go
you
off
too,
script.
man. Yeah, let's go. I mean, it's a fun day. It's
Let's
Monday.
do
We're
it,
celebrating.
man. It's football,
Adam left
bro.
the studio chair all sticky. I don't know
Is it
what he
still
was
hookah in
doing
here?
earlier.
Is there still some hookah around here?
Yeah, we were smoking hookah back there later. My name is Stick. Fill it in for Ryan Ermani today. He will be back tomorrow. Maz, that is Braylon Edwards, and this is
Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Hello, let me tell you about the wonderful people at Lady Jane's. If you're not feeling right, your confidence is a little down, you know what can fix that? Real simple, too. Doesn't cost much money. Just come get a nice haircut at any of the local Lady Jane's. They will treat you like the king that you are. Get the nice hot neck lather. I love that feeling. Get yourself the scalp massage, the shoulder rub. Plus, you get the haircut that's going to give you the confidence that you need to tackle your week. So if you're looking in the mirror right now and you're like, oh boy, yeah, it's time to go. Make sure you're going to the one spot that'll make you look your absolute best, make you look better than Matthew Stafford on a Sunday lately. Lady Jane's, come here. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody that's watching on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right now, and everybody that's listening on The Roar on the radio. We appreciate you, and don't forget to download the app. It is absolutely free for you in the Google Play or Apple Store. All right. Want to ask you this question, and it's kind of a loaded question.
I'm nervous.
It's kind of a loaded question, but yesterday, I think, shed some light on this specific subject for me. You're looking at Joe Burrow, number 1 overall pick, second year in the league, taking a team that was in last place last year to the Super Bowl. Are you more impressed by what Joe Burrow has done in year 2 or what Matthew Stafford is doing in year 13? Because when I look at it, Stafford was supposed to do what Burrow's doing.
Right. So
who would you rather have as your quarterback moving forward? Not talking about for the Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm just talking about in general. Who do you got?
That is a loaded question.
It's tough, isn't it? Because I've been battling my brain all day.
I'm super impressed with both. I don't think you have to go with Burrow. You really have to go with Burrow from this standpoint. Matthew Stafford went into a situation where, don't get me wrong, there's a ton of pressure on Matt Stafford from the standpoint of they went all in on you. You do the Seth Wickersham interview. You talk about wanting to play in a big moment. Everybody's saying you couldn't get it done in Detroit. But then a lot of people were saying you were a big reason for that. Not to mention he goes to a situation where they've been to a Super Bowl. They have a Super Bowl type atmosphere and environment. They have Cooper Kupp, they have Robert Woods, they have Cam Akers, they have Sony Michel, they have Henderson. Then they have Wentworth. Then on the opposite side of the ball, not to mention Higbee, they got Aaron Donald.
Yes.
They got
Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
They have Leonard Floyd. So he went to a really good spot. But like we talked about, he got beat down here. So the fact that he kept himself up enough, you got to give Kelly Stafford some love because, she supported her husband mentally through all of this.
You see that hug he got after the game? Kelly Stafford was trying to give him more than a hug right on the field. Yeah. Like she legs around him, like she was feeling that moment.
That was amazing. So like all of that, you have to give him tons of credit and tons of respect. Oh, here we are watching it right now.
Hey, look at that.
But with that being,
what's happening when they get back to the Stafford household. They're about to have another baby.
Bang.
Another baby.
Bing bong.
Another bing bong.
Bing bong. So
another girl.
But I know, right? But with all that being said, and I love what Stafford has done, it almost really isn't close. It's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is in year 2. Oh, but you know what we haven't talked about, and what nobody is talking about? What did Joe Burrow do last year? I think he had something called an ACL tear.
ACL tear.
So he came back off an ACL tear and is playing this way.
Bray, it was even worse than that.
Because ACL, PCL, MCL, it was reconstruction.
His knee was destroyed.
I tore my ACL, but I just tore my ACL. What he did was ACL, MCL, PCL. It's called reconstruction. We didn't talk about that. That's 1. 2, his offensive line is trash.
Yeah. Well, me and Adam were talking about it. Like, man, Jamar Chase was the exact right draft pick for them. Because we were talking, they should have taken a lineman. They should have taken a lineman. But Jamar Chase offered so much to that team that a lineman couldn't, Like, he opened up T. Higgins. He opened up Tyler Boyd. Yeah. He made sure that Joe Mixon had space to run, all because he sits on the field.
He also gave Burrow that confidence. He let Joe be Joe Cool. He was Joe Burrow last year. He was Joe Cool this year.
Yep.
Offensive line, trash. Defense, you really only have 2 really good players on defense. Secondary is trash. Outside of Hendrickson, who played well. Right. Hendrickson played well yesterday.
Boy, was he gassed.
He had 2 sacks. He had 5 quarterback hits. Played well. The defense is average, and the secondary is trash. ACL reconstruction, terrible offensive line, average defense. In spite of all of that, here you are. And the crazy thing about it is if you look at his stats aren't necessarily overwhelming, but when you watch the game, like if you don't watch the game and just read the stats, you're like, all right, well, he did all right, blah, blah, blah. But when you watch the game, his cool demeanor is ridiculous. He got out of 4 sacks yesterday, and all 4 of those plays were third down, made a first down, stays cool.
That's what he was doing at LSU. I mean, you remember any time you watched LSU and he was there, like the dude he's slippery. You can't get your hands on him, and he's not faster than anybody. He's just cerebral. He's smarter than everybody. He beats you to the angles.
He's confident. It's kind of like when you saw the Kenny Pickett play this year, when he did the fake slide and he kept running.
Changed the game.
That's the kind of swag and cool and chillness that Joe Burrow has. But he's in year 2. You're talking unprecedented territory. You're talking about Kurt Warner, year 2, Hall of Fame. You talk about Dan Marino, year 2, Hall of Fame. And he's in year 2 in the Super Bowl with a team that nobody would have thought about this early in the year, later in the year. They're in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, I would take Joe Burrow over Stafford in terms of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
Not the story in terms of who I would choose to move forward with. Joe Burrow would be the best quarterback in the NFL probably within 2 years.
I'm just sitting here today, a Lions fan, just getting slapped from both teams that are in the Super Bowl. Yeah. I feel like we blew that opportunity with Stafford here. He should have been what Joe Burrow has done. Maybe not year 2 taking the Lions to the Super Bowl, but damn, taking a team that only had 3 wins last year and getting them to the Super Bowl the next year. We should have had that here. No. We had the same weapons. We had Megatron. We had Stafford in his second year. We had Burleson. The only thing we didn't have was a Joe Mixon type running back, but we had a better offensive line than I think they had. We had a better defense than the Bengals have right now.
I agree.
At one point in time.
Not even close.
Not consistently, but at one point. So I'm jealous of that. And then on the other side, I get to go watch the guy who couldn't get it done here in Detroit, go get it done year 1. This is just a painful Super Bowl for me to watch for some reason.
I think the thing that pisses most Detroit fans off is not necessarily that he's in the Super Bowl and they wanted that here. It's not necessarily that. It's the fact what Joe Burrow is doing. He's taking a team that they should be in the Super Bowl. Let's be honest, they should be in the Super Bowl, but they're in the Super Bowl in year 2. Detroit fans like, we have to be in the Super Bowl in year 2, but we should have started building some consistency. Like the Detroit Lions, they draft Stafford after they already have Calvin. They drafted Dominican after that. Ezekiel Anza. They do that. They should have been a playoff team. Remember the Lions in the 90s, your favorite Lions? They went to the playoffs every year.
Pretty much.
Like they went to to the playoffs damn near every year with the exception of 2 on a 10-year run. That's what the Detroit fans expected and, to be honest, deserved.
That was our floor.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to that. And, I always have this conversation. Adam and I go back and forth on Jim Caldwell all the time. And,
he hates Jim Caldwell.
He hates Jim Caldwell, and he could do that, which is fine. But to me, Jim Caldwell set the highest floor that I have seen in the Lions since Wayne Fonts.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're right. We weren't at the Super Bowl level. We weren't pushing towards that. We were hanging around that 9-7. But if 9-7s are worse, who the hell are we to judge? We're the Lions.
This is very true. Since you want to go off script, I got one for you, Matt. Let's go off script a little bit on this one. Matt Stafford is in the Super Bowl right now, right? Let's say he wins. He's 33. He wins the Super Bowl. They got everybody coming back next year because Vaughn and Odell will take deals so they can stay there. They both have homes out there in the offseason, so they're all in. They're invested. You get Robert Woods back. Cam Akers now plays a full year. So they got to be the favorites in the NFC coming back next season. Them Dallas, right? Look at him now and look at Aaron Rodgers. Matt Stafford can go from a potential situation, I want you guys to chime in, where he was almost a Hall of Fame asterisk, but a lot of people say no to if he wins this game first ballot. Can he legitimately be better than Aaron Rodgers when it's all said and done? Just think about it. He doesn't have the MVPs. He doesn't have one. But what matters? Championships.
Wins, baby.
How old is Aaron Rodgers?
Old as hell.
39. That means he has 6 years on Matthew Stafford. That means Matthew Stafford has 6 years to put in some work. Matthew Stafford, when it's all said and done, for all the beatdowns he took at the hands of Aaron Rodgers, can finish with a better career. Just think about that.
I want to ask you about Patrick Mahomes going forward. Ooh. Because you know what? He let something slip through his hands yesterday that he might not get back for a while. Have you seen the AFC going forward?
Yeah.
His division
Josh
alone.
Allen alone.
It ain't going to be easy anymore.
His division alone, and you probably get Jimmy G is probably going to go to Broncos, so now you got another guy in there that he can win some games, won't beat you, but something about it, and you said this about Aaron Rodgers last week against 49ers, said he looked like he was staring off into space. Yeah. He looked very aloof. Patrick Mahomes didn't seem like he was aloof, but he did seem like he was out there very careless.
He was off.
Very lackluster. It didn't seem like he took the situation serious after it was 21-3.
But it's interesting because to bring up your Aaron Rodgers point and to bring up the Patrick Mahomes point, how your legacy is so fragile. 1 minute you're talked about as one of the greatest of all times. Because think about Patrick Mahomes last year going into the Super Bowl. He's going to win back-to-back Super Bowls. He's going to beat Tom Brady.
He's the best quarterback of all time.
Best quarterback. He was on his way. They put him on the GOAT cover of Madden with Tom Brady because that was the projection. And now we're like, wait, no, whoa. Josh Allen may be a better quarterback than that. And then with Aaron Rodgers, for pretty much his whole career, this guy's a Hall of Famer. This guy's the best quarterback in the league. Now we're looking at it like he may not be. Stafford may even have the same amount of Super Bowl wins as him. So how could he be the best ever?
I'm going to tell you like this. Aaron Rodgers, you better not leave Green Bay. You better not leave Green Bay. The AFC, it's too much going on right now in the AFC. Yeah. It's too much change and carry. Even if you bring Devontae Adams with you, it's a tough situation to be in. If you want your legacy to stay intact, you got to stay in the NFC North, and you got to win the Super Bowl. It's the best way to do it. It's tough right now for Aaron Rodgers, man.
It's hard out here. And there's another guy that mentioned he may be retiring, or he hasn't mentioned. Yeah. The media took a little tweet from Adam Schefter and ran with it this weekend. We're going to talk a lot about Tom Brady coming up next. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
That's me. And this is The Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Citron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Every day I take it, green tea and ginseng. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to get you guys to take it one day, man. Citron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, look no further than Centron. Long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste. Centron definitely should be, I know it's mine, your top choice. Buy online at CentronWorld.com with promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it. Live it with Centron.
We got a fridge now, too.
Yeah, we do.
I know, right? Yeah, shout out to Kayla and Vic, man. We appreciate
Thank
that
you.
fridge.
Look at this Centron right here. We got plenty in here. And
I got mine off here. I got my little Centron. There it is.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani today. That is Braylon Edwards. Maz is here. Alex is here. And Flannel Sam is in the sound booth. So we've done a lot of talk about quarterbacks. And, you know, it's crazy. He's not even playing in the Super Bowl, but Tom Brady has a way of getting some media attention, even when he's already out of the playoffs.
That was done on purpose, by the way.
I'm kind of with you on that.
That was done on purpose because at the end of the day, they stopped the votes in terms of voting for the MVP. They stopped the votes in NFC and AFC championship game weekend. He drops that. Now voters are like, oh, man, how do you not vote for Brady in his last go-around? You drop it right there. He wins MVP. I think he does that for the MVP.
I think he deserved it anyway, to be honest with you.
That's what I've been saying. I argue.
Hey, I'm an A-Rod guy. But
I've been arguing you and Ryan. Can you make a case for Joe Burrow to be an MVP candidate like last minute?
Does playoffs count?
Yeah, is it playoff MVP?
Do they count, or do they end it at the regular season?
I think they have to count because now they announce it later. Now when they do the awards, it's the week of the Super Bowl. They used to announce it a couple weeks earlier. So they can tell us that it doesn't. That's a lie and a half.
Yeah.
That's a lie and a half.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Anyway, Brady, hey, he dropped the news. Not him, but ESPN. And Adam Schefter, they're doubling down on ESPN. They're not backing off, although it's put that tweet up from his agent, Don Yee. And Don Yee basically says, hey, nothing's official until Tom Brady makes it official. And Stick, you could read that.
Yeah, it says, I understand the advanced speculation about Tom's future without getting into the accuracy or inaccuracy of what's being reported. Tom will be the only person to express his plans with complete accuracy. He knows the realities of the football business and planning calendar as well as anybody, so that should be soon. And you know, I was talking about this. A guy like Tom Brady, right?
Now, I love how he says his plans with complete accuracy. That was a little shout out to Tom Brady. I like that right
Complete accuracy. I get it.
There you go.
Good football pun.
There you go.
But yeah, with Tom Brady, I'm with you. I think this may have been strategical, but I also think that the dude has lived such a regimented life, right? Like that's what Tom Brady is known for. I'm sure he gets up at the same time every day, eats the same thing, goes to the same gym, parks in the same spot.
Yeah.
How hard is it for a guy of 22 years in the NFL to break all of those habits?
That's tough. It's fun. It's tough, and it's fun at the same time. And I've been saying all since last week, started Monday, fast forward into Friday, I said he knew this was going to be his victory lap, and I don't think anybody paid attention. I was watching ESPN earlier, and I was watching Stephen A. Smith, and he said something that made me feel even more right about what I was saying. He said, Tom Brady, he said 45. So for me, I'm thinking 45. And he's not 45 he's 45 to August. So I'm thinking, he plays another year. What did I say last week? I said he threw that 45 out there as a distraction. It's a deflection. Because now he throws it out there. And if you got somebody like Stephen A. Smith thinking, oh, okay, cool, he said 45. Now you're immediately giving him another year. He did that on purpose. He had the Man in the Arena documentary come out this year. He had a whole victory dance, last dance Michael Jordan situation come out this year. He was all in. He wanted to walk off into the sunset, which he did deserve. Injuries by other teammates, other things that happened off the field for their players didn't allow it to happen. Plus Giselle, like at the end of the day, all that they've been through a lot. Giselle was like, look, it's time to come home.
It's time.
Do you want this or not? do you want this or not?
And what man on the planet's going to say no?
Not me. You see these beautiful kids?
Right.
Like you see your wife, like, I'm here. I let you do all this. I support you. You're 44 time. You had a good. What are you trying to prove at this point? Right. Like if he had 9 rings, then maybe, all right, cool, I can get it. He's trying to get to 10. You got 7. You've been to 10 time. We appreciate you. You're the GOAT. Get out of here.
I also listen, before you go, they have not shot the finale for Man in the Arena yet. I just want to put that out there.
Nice.
So if he wants to end it tonight, he has his show with Jim Gray. You could hear it tonight. And Man in the Arena, they could be filming as we speak.
I also think
point.
the ending to the game, like if they would have lost to the Rams and gotten blown out like they were, I think Tom Brady would definitely be back because he ain't going out like that.
Yeah.
But I think the way he brought that team, exactly, he did his job.
Yep.
When he left the field, the Rams were in position to win that game.
Yeah.
That is all you can ask out of your starting. So I think he can ride up into the sunset, even though he doesn't have that ring.
I agree. You know, for him, he'll win MVP this year. I thought he should have been MVP anyway. I think announcing it now, I think you'll get some of those nostalgic votes for like, let's give him, he's walking off.
He earned it too.
He definitely earned it. 5,300 yards, 45 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He definitely earned it.
How do you walk away with those stats though, man? When you're still operating. I know, when you're still operating at that level, how do you just give it all up?
I'm telling you, I go to 49ers, man. I would not quit.
Yeah, and I said I like that move. I think that could be the only move that he does make, but it's tough. He's done everything, man, and it's I don't know, he's leaving us hanging. You know, he's leaving us hanging for a reason. I think we'll see. He's taking his time with the pick, but let me ask you this, Maz. What do you think about this? Players getting, and I've heard this before. My dad actually said this before I heard it today. What do you think about players getting into the Hall of Fame while they're still playing?
Oh, wow.
Like while they're still playing. Because Tom Brady could have been in the Hall of Fame in 2010. Let's call it a spade.
Well, what's the waiting period? What's the waiting period?
5 years.
Then make it 2.
I think after you play 15 years in the league, maybe you're eligible. Like, you know, put a mark on it like that.
Yeah.
Like they can vote while you're in there.
I think you got to be done before you get in.
It's just so tough because your story's not written, you know? Like, could he look at what's happening in the Baseball Hall of Fame right now? If you were voting while Bonds was playing, Bonds in the Hall of Fame. But then all the steroids and all that stuff comes out, and now everybody grows a moral conscience for some reason, and he's not in. So, I don't know. It's tough.
I like both sides of the argument. I mean, you can get in while you're playing. Like, shoot, if you've done enough, you feel like you deserve to get in. Like Tom Brady had 4 Super Bowl rings after 11 years. He already had 4. Put him in.
But I don't understand about these Hall of Famers. Let's just take 2 Raiders, for instance. Ken Stabler, Cliff Branch, from my era. They are Hall of Famers then. They're Hall of Famers now. They waited so long that the guys died, and they put him in posthumously. They put him in after they're dead.
Yeah.
Cliff Branch goes in this year. He's gone. He's not going to know he's in. Ken Stabler, same thing happened to him, the snake. That's what bothers me.
I agree 100%.
If you're a Hall of Famer,
you're a Hall of Famer.
You're a Hall of Famer. Like T.O.
Let's stop wasting time.
T.O., first ballot.
Yeah.
Not second.
That was that BS. We're gonna punish you for what we feel like you did, blah, blah, blah.
And that's another thing. I don't care about your morals to get into the Hall of Fame. Look at my numbers. That's what I want to know about, how you played the game of football. I don't care about what you did off the field. I don't care about any of that, because that's why T.O.'s not in, because he was a jackass off the field.
T.O.'s in, but he got in second ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but that's why it took so long, is he was a jackass off the field. Like, it had nothing to do with what he did on the field. Otherwise, to your point, he'd be in right away.
At the end of the day, there's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that they have a lot of character issues, a lot of things off the field. Hell, OJ's in the Hall of Fame, but you have to be able to separate. We're talking about football, right? We're talking about baseball. We're talking about basketball. We're talking about hockey. What did you do? Do you deserve to be in? As long as there's some things you can't do, but get in. Allow these players to get in. I'm for these guys getting in while they're still playing. To be honest, like Aaron Rodgers, you put Aaron Rodgers in the Hall of Fame right now.
Do you though?
Hell yeah. Yes.
Do you though?
Damn, see, that's a whole nother conversation.
Isn't that crazy? No, that legacy is tarnished.
Yeah.
It's tarnished.
He's still first ballot.
He is still first ballot, but he's got more L's in big games now than he does wins. And this is very true. That's tough for a Hall of Famer. So everybody watching right now on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch, we want to get your opinion coming up next, because we gave our opinions on our reaction 100%. To the game yesterday.
We got to get into Jimmy G too.
Yes.
There's a lot to unpack with that situation.
There is.
A lot to unpack.
And I want to get everybody else's opinion about what happened yesterday and your reaction to Matthew Stafford making it to the Super Bowl. So we're going to discuss that. Get ready to be a part of this chat coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes?
Touchdown! What a play!
Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet, the Woodward Sports Network.
Let me tell you about our friends at Guardian Alarm. I mean, you were watching those football games yesterday, and what was the common theme? The defense, the security. That's what you needed for your quarterback, and you need that defense to get you to the Super Bowl. That's what greatness is, and that's what Guardian Alarm can provide for you. They can provide the protection of a good offensive line, but they can also provide the defense that will shut down anybody trying to penetrate your home.
Shut them down!
And all you got to do is call them and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you. They will hook you up, and they'll treat you like family, because that's exactly what you are. They've been around for about 100 years, helping out people protect everything that they love, so why not protect what you love? And all you got to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number, once again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. 1-800-STAY-OUT. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Stay
out.
Stay out.
Get out of my house, fish.
It's like very Freddie Mercury.
Stay out. So call Guardian Alarm today.
Ask for Jason.
Yes, Jason. Make sure you mention Jason. Welcome back to The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. Braylon Edwards up here on the stage with me. Tom Mazawey in the big comfy chair. We have Alex in the TD land. And, of course, Sam making sure we sound good. So, like we said, we got out our responses and our reaction to the game. What was your reaction to the game? And I'm talking to anybody listening right now. If you're a part of the YouTube chat, let us know how you felt, what was going through your head with Matthew Stafford, because some of the tweets that came out, our staff was on fire last night. First of all, our girl Hannah is going viral right now. She's like over 100,000 likes on her tweet that said, "Oh yeah, Matthew Stafford,
SportsCenter
Eminem." Yeah, SportsCenter retweeted her.
Yeah.
And
What was his tweet?
It said, "Well, Matthew Stafford and Eminem are both going to the Super Bowl, the closest Detroit has ever come." And it's true.
Wow.
It's true.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And so she's blowing up. I mean, Easy had some great tweets.
Jerome
Adam, of course, had some great tweets.
Jerome Bettis.
I had some great tweets. Make sure you follow at Stick Radio.
There you go. Wow.
But for real, if you're watching right now, what was your response? Because I think everybody kind of had a different response to this. There's still two sides to the Stafford coin.
Yeah.
There's some people that really don't like this, and there's some people that obviously like Adam, which brings in his dancing homies this morning.
Support, understand.
They absolutely love it, but I know Alex has some tweets and some responses from some fans, so let's take a look at those real quick.
Out.
Yeah, I thought you did. That's what Maz put in the prep.
Hey, so while we're waiting for those, speaking of Stafford, I think with the situation of Stafford, this is how you really got to approach it: maturity and consistency. That's what you're seeing from Stafford. He legitimately was in a situation in Detroit, played with 200 coaches, Maz. Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
Every time
offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches, head coaches.
If every 6 months you are walking into Allen Park and there is a bunch of new faces,
right,
especially that affects what you do as a quarterback. Look at all the quarterbacks that have success. I'm talking about quarterbacks that have success at the level of an Aaron Rodgers. What is the key ingredient? Consistency, whether it's the offensive coordinator, there for years. Same coach, there for years. Plays within the same skill position. The skill players, they're there. They're locked in. Joe Montana, Bill Walsh forever. Tom Brady, Belichick forever. Insert great QB, you'll see same consistency. He didn't have that consistency here, right? Now he's maturing out there in LA, much cooler situation, and he's learned through his stumbling of his foot because of being in Detroit. Consistency and maturity helps.
Do you think if he goes to any other team besides the Rams, he's in the Super Bowl this year? And you can leave that picture up, Alex. We'll talk about that right after this.
I'm trying to think. Jail, life sentences for all of them.
Anthony Broom.
Anthony Broom tweeted out a picture.
That's funny as hell.
It's Patricia. It's Quinn.
It's your girl.
Yeah, it's Martha.
And Rob Wood.
And Rob Wood. And it says jail, life sentence for all of them.
I say jail for at least 3 of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, Patricia definitely belongs in jail. Quinn definitely belongs in jail. I mean, think about passing up Aaron Darnold for Eric Ebron.
I'm trying to think. Who all had new quarterbacks this season? So what other landing spots could he have gone to
Not even that. Just what other teams?
Well, the word was the Panthers wanted him.
But
remember the Panthers wanted him? We could have had picks 7 and 8.
Someone was commenting that in the comment section.
But you said where could he have gone and still been in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I only think it's one place. It's New Orleans.
Okay.
New Orleans would have been the only spot outside of L.A. because you go down there, they would have won that conference. They still beat Tom Brady this year, both games. He definitely would have beat him if he was there. They had a lot of opportunities to win other games. Defense played well for them. And who knows, maybe Mike Thomas decides to play this year if Matt Stafford would have went there.
How about San Fran?
But they drafted.
To
his point, though, they could have picked him up before the draft.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I think they did pursue him at one point, too.
How about the Tennessee Titans? How about the Raiders? I'm just giving you teams that are in the playoffs that lost. But if they had a quarterback, the Colts. How about the Colts? If the Colts got their hands on Matthew Stafford, they're in the Super Bowl. They were our Super Bowl pick, Braylon.
I give you that one. Definitely the Colts. I'll give you that one. I won't say the Raiders because I don't want to take that out of Derek Carr's hands. I think Derek Carr, for the most part,
he's a great leader.
Yeah, he's a great leader, great motivator.
Yep.
Like he had a really good year. I mean, he dropped the ball in a couple of situations, but it wasn't because of him that they lost this year. So you got to keep him out there.
Jenna
and the team
Newman
loves him.
Jenna Newman is saying, "I'm seriously so happy for Stafford." Dr. Detroit, I love this comment. Typical Lions fans to cheer to be ultimate losers. Cheering for Stafford shows me you don't really support the Lions. We went from 22 overall to 31 to 32, and you guys cheer it on. Way to lead the fans.
So let me tell you,
he's
what's the
accusing
difference
me.
who we cheer for?
So first of
you
all,
think we controlled what happened to the Rams?
I've never been a Lions fan, and I've said that ever since we started August 12th. I've never been a Lions fan. I never will be a Lions fan, but I am a Detroit guy. I like to see the city happy. I like to see the city happy. If the Lions win, the Tigers win, the Red Wings win, the Pistons win, the city is happy. They deserve that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as it relates to people cheering for Matt Stafford that are Lions fans, Matt Stafford did everything he was supposed to do in terms of just being an Iron Man, being available, being here for the team, doing right by the community. Like, how could you not cheer for a guy like that if you're a Lions fan? He gave you 12 years. Because I told you, I'm not a fan, so this is me asking. How could you not cheer for a guy like that?
No, Stafford gave us all he could for 12 years, and it just wasn't enough here in Detroit. And that's it. The relationship didn't work on both sides, and you're seeing that.
I wish there was no draft pick attached to him. Because I want to see how many people actually would root for him.
That would change
I'm tired of the Neil thing, draft capital. I'm tired of the draft pick. That's why I wish they would have just traded him to Carolina.
For that
you
8.
had pick 7. You could have had pick 8. You could have had Micah Parsons. And you could have had Penei Sewell. Or whoever the hell else they would.
Do you think that number 8 pick now is more valuable than the 31, 32, and then whatever we're getting next year as well?
Of course.
I don't understand, just thinking about it. Going into the season, as soon as Matt Stafford signed with the Los Angeles Rams, they were already projected to win that division.
Yes.
Right.
So I don't understand why people were like, even Neil, were like draft capital. You knew going into the season that you weren't going to be picking.
Correct.
It was going to be a late 20s
24,
pick.
25.
Right.
So what does it matter, 24, 25, or 30?
And also to that point, we expected Stafford to win these games. So anybody who's like, oh, he's proven himself, like, to me, he's not proving anything because we're still holding him to Lions standards when we should be holding him to Ram standards. And Ram standards is winning a playoff game every year. Ram standards is they went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So, like, until I tweeted this out to my buddy because he says I'm inconsistent on Stafford. It's like, no, he got traded there to win a Super Bowl. Anything less than that is a failure for the LA Rams.
Yes.
And that's true. That's the way it is. So until he does something in a Rams uniform that the previous quarterbacks haven't, to me, he hasn't accomplished the goal yet. He's there. He's on the doorstep. He's knocking.
So let's hold him accountable. Like, we're not saying he went out there and played this 5,500, 50 touchdown, flawless season because he didn't. Matt Stafford still had Matt Stafford moments.
He had a horrible second half.
Let's just talk about the month of December alone. 8 interceptions,
terrible.
3 of them for pick sixes. 3 of those pick sixes. Look at the game for 49ers to get in. He almost is the reason why they weren't in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Because he throws the interception to Ambry Thomas, University of Michigan, and that's how the 49ers get in. So he almost cost them. He had 4 good games. He beat Tom Brady twice. He beat Dak, and he beat the 49ers game.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the 4 games. He had a lot of bad games. And 8 of his wins in the regular season.
Beat the Cards, too. Give him that one.
But
we beat the Cards, though. So who gets credit for beating the Cardinals?
He got to win.
Yeah, but it's almost like giving Cleveland credit for beating the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But he had a good
last year in the
game,
playoff.
too, Bray, that Monday night game. He had a good game, that playoff Monday night game.
But they were terrible.
I know. The Cardinals checked out. I get it.
Like Kyler Murray He had one of the worst performances of a quarterback in the playoff. And I know he's new. I know
he
it's his
looked
first
like a
game.
Pee-wee quarterback.
Don't get me wrong. A lot of first-time quarterbacks have had bad games. So, that's no knock to you. But they were bad. You know what I'm saying? They were terrible. So I can't give him that one as a win. Plus, he was 13-17. That was a defensive win.
Yes,
Von
no
Miller
question.
and Aaron Donald ball. He had 4 good games. So we're not crowning Matt Stafford at all. We're just saying he's changed the narrative. He still has that Matt Stafford in him, but he's legitimately more patient.
Right.
He lets the game come to him more, and he's still only 33. Like, that's the thing that I just realized last week. I'm like, 33? He has a lot of time.
Got 12 more years in him.
Exactly. In a comfortable situation with good players, good energy.
Living good
vibes.
in L.A.
Man, air must be different out there in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, the Pacific Southwest.
We know that.
Alex Haggerty says, very happy for Stafford. Our draft pick in the Rams barely changes now, so there's no reason to not really be happy about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tammy Chin says, I'm happy for Stafford. Adam had some hilarious tweets. I love that. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say the majority of people are happy for Stafford, and I'm not happy for Stafford, but I'm also disappointed.
You're indifferent.
Yeah, to me, he's the best quarterback the Lions have ever had. I've said that ad nauseum, and people still think people still think I'm a hater. But I'll acknowledge he's the best we ever had. He just wasn't good enough here.
Yeah, I think because you and I have actually gotten to this before. You and I have talked about it.
Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of things. Like, he wasn't as good as he could be because of the inconsistency. Like, inconsistency, man, and just continuously changing things over. People don't know how much that weighs on the mind, the psyche, leadership. Like, you're looking at different guys. I give you an example. When I was in Cleveland, like, everybody was rotating. It was new off, with the exception of Joe Thomas. Like, every other day, it was a new right tackle, it was a new center, there was a new right guard, there was a new wide receiver, there was a new tight end. Like, I remember my 08 year, 2008, everybody got hurt. I looked up at one point in the huddle. We were playing the Tennessee Titans. It was a Monday night game. And I looked up, and Bruce Gradkowski was the quarterback. I was like, who the F is this? Like, literally, he came in, and he got in the huddle. I'm like, who the F is this? And then, like, it literally was like that. When you go through that change and you don't know anybody, you don't have that rhythm, that vibe, it messes with you, and it's tough, man. Not to mention the Lions, they're negligent back then.
Yeah, I mean, it did show one thing, that we definitely had some warts that need to be taken care of, and we still do as a football team. So hopefully the Lions get it together. I'm glad we're sitting here this year, though, and not last year.
Right.
Because if this was happening to the Lions last year and we didn't feel any type of positive momentum, this would be crushing. Absolutely crushing if we still had Patricia going into next year and we didn't know. At least now you can feel good. Like, we're on the right track.
Some optimism.
This is leading to the right thing, and we're going to use the assets we got from Stafford to hopefully build this thing out the proper way.
Here's a good question, man. I wonder what one person is thinking today. When he woke up today, wherever he's standing, if he's in Birmingham right now, or if he's in L.A. right now, what was Jared Goff thinking this morning when he woke up?
I was thinking about that yesterday, him watching the game. Is he
Cause
rooting for his boys, or is he like...
That's a real question. Like, you're like, damn.
I think he's rooting for him.
You think so?
I do. But you know what? He's the player. Braylon's the player. He could tell you.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I think deep down in places he doesn't want to talk about, he's like F. Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, and the whole Rams organization.
Well, I don't blame him on McVay.
But higher up, he's cheering for his boy. He's cheering for him. But deep down, he's like F all of that.
Yeah, I never played in the NFL. I never played at that level. But, you know, I've worked in the entertainment industry for a long time in radio, and I've gotten popped from a radio job before.
Hell yeah.
And it's not that you're rooting for that station to taper off.
Yeah.
But you're like, all right, without me, let's hope they kind of underachieve a little, but you're still rooting for your friends that work there. So I can get both sides of it, because it's like, man, screw that station, but you know, my boy's cool. I want him to do well. Everybody else can fail.
Hey, we got some good sound coming up after the break. I got Nate Burleson, former teammate and one of the best in the biz on NFL Network and CBS Morning Show, talking about Stafford, and of course Dan Orlovsky. Wait till you see what he did this morning.
But going back to that, you're absolute. I love Dan Orlovsky, man. I love Dan Orlovsky. I got you covered. When I was with the New York Jets, those 2 years, back-to-back AFC championships, AFC championship game appearances. Excuse me. I literally thought that's where I was going to be for the rest of my life. Like, I thought that was it, man. I thought I was going to be gang for the rest of my life. I thought I was going to wear those ugly colors for the rest of my life in green and white. And then when they decided to sign Santonio Holmes and not bring me back in the 2011 season, I was like, F the Jets. Like, literally, like, I didn't want to watch them. I wanted them to lose. That next year, Plaxico Bears, they struggled. They haven't been to the playoffs since. I love the Jets. I consider myself a Jet. But at the same time, I am happy that they struggled after I left. So that's how it is sometimes.
And we'll be back right after this. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is Woodward Sports, Bottom Line.
Bottom line.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
I tell you who's drinking some Gypsy vodka right about now. It has to be the Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford, and definitely Kelly Stafford. Gypsy vodka, Michigan's own gluten-free. Oh, my God, this stuff is so good. And it's good because it's corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. This stuff is the stuff of dreams. 50 formulas went into making this stuff. And guess what? On 5-0, Adam and Mike got it right. Try Gypsy vodka today. Go down to your local neighborhood liquor store. Ask for Gypsy vodka. Tell them Braylon sent you. Actually, tell them Stick sent you. You might get a discount if you do it that way. Remember, if you're going to drink, if you're going to turn up for the Super Bowl, get some Gypsy vodka, but make sure you do it safe.
I got that apple pie vodka, too.
I know, right?
Woo!
Oh, man, apple pie. That just sounds like something.
It's delicious.
If you're going to drink, drink responsibly. Gypsy vodka.
First things first, Dan is played with Matthew Stafford for many years. If you're just last week you brought props. Is there going to be a celebration?
No. Last week I was allowed to be a child on national television.
Yeah. Good.
It's about Matthew. It's not about me.
Good.
The heck with that.
Oh, no.
This is the victory lap. We're running around the studio. I'm going through the whole joint. He's a stat pattern. He can't win the big game. You can't trust him. He's never won in the big moment. Here's the victory lap for America.
Okay. Very well done.
All right, now I'll be an adult.
Dan is excited.
Is there anybody more excited than Dan Orlovsky for Matthew Stafford? I mean, outside of Kelly Stafford, I think Dan Orlovsky would have jumped on him on the field with the full leg hug, too.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's the Woodward Sports Network. That was audio of Dan Orlovsky this morning. And you should have heard him going in on Stephen A. Smith, too.
He killed him.
And by the way, everybody's
him.
commenting about your Stephen A. Smith impressions. I think
it was really good.
You may want to bring that back a couple more times, Braylon.
I appreciate
this is
it.
my
And you didn't even yell. You just did a soft voice.
Right. The only Stephen A. I got is lay off the weed. That's the only Stephen A. Smith impression I got.
I love Dan running through all those studios.
That
It
was
almost
great.
looked like he was running out of the end zone.
Well, I'm telling you, he's been carrying and waving this flag.
I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there.
He's been waving the Stafford flag for a year, and for him to be able to actually plant that thing in the ground and be like, I was right, it's got to feel good for him.
The big thing with Dan Orlovsky, one, Dan knows his stuff. We've had him on once before. We will have him on again in the future. He knows his stuff, man. He's researched, but he also dials in from both point of views, man, as an analyst, also as a former player. It's a different thing when you've actually been around somebody.
Right.
And you can see things that people don't see. Like, you've been on a team with a guy and you saw the unfair criticism that you thought he got. You saw him every day in practice. You saw the work that he put in. You saw his work ethic. You saw how he was as a family man. You saw he really wanted to win. So when you've seen all that from Dan Orlovsky and you get on there and you see him go to the Rams, you're happy. Did you see all the tweets from former Detroit Lions? That says something.
It's funny you say practice, too. Did you see what Kerryon Johnson tweeted out about Matthew Stafford?
I did not.
Okay. He said, one of the highlights of my NFL career so far has been watching Matthew Stafford throw the ball in practice.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's what he tweeted out. And obviously, Quandre Diggs and everybody's showing their love to Stafford. But I thought that was interesting because it's not about gameplay.
Yeah.
It's not about leadership. It's about another professional athlete acknowledging, wow, this guy's amazing in practice.
I think that's why you've always, not only just because they were both in the NFC North for 12 years together, I think everybody always compare Matt to Aaron Rodgers, and this is why. Both have cannons.
Yep.
Obviously, Matt Stafford is stronger, but they both can fit that ball in that window, like Dan Orlovsky talks about all the time. That Odell Beckham throw. And that was a thing of beauty because it was just this much time before he was going to get hit. When he takes his time, he relaxes, he's in a better situation, you may see him get to a point like Aaron Rodgers. The only difference between Aaron Rodgers for those years and Stafford, besides 3 MVPs, is the patience and the confidence and the relaxability. My dad says this all the time about Stafford. Stafford trusts his arm so much in Detroit a lot. He made a lot of throws he shouldn't make because he had that much confidence. He was that arrogant about his arm. Now you take your chance, you take your time, you be patient, you get throws where they are, and you don't take the chance that you don't have to take. That's why Aaron Rodgers is so good. Aaron will see a situation like, no, I'm not going over there. I can't get the ball there. You know what? Just throw the ball right here to A.J. Dillon out the backfield, like Aaron Jones out the backfield.
Right.
That's what Matt Stafford is starting to get to. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Well, let's hear what Nate Burleson had to say about Matthew Stafford, too. And check out this graphic. Shout out to our boy Roman for making that graphic, by the way. Roman is a bad dude.
New king has been crowned in the NFC.
Let's check out what Nate Burleson had to say about Matthew Stafford today.
Man, shout out to the Detroit Los Angeles Rams. I'm really excited about them making the Super Bowl. But no, just think about this for a second. If Matthew Stafford played like Patrick Mahomes did in that second half, where he's a little bit erratic, some balls got away from him, that interception late in the game, we would be lighting Matthew Stafford up this morning. That would be the talk of the table. Well, see, that's Matthew being Matthew again. Well, this is what we were waiting for. We knew that Matthew Stafford couldn't play big in big moments. He's quieted all of that. Now all of those critics, all those naysayers, shh. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the fact that he shut everybody up. He was fantastic. I mean, Matthew Stafford has been as consistent as any other QB throughout this postseason. And I love the fact that there is a part of the Detroit fan base that is enjoying this moment. I mean, this is as Detroit of a Super Bowl as it gets. I mean, we have Matthew Stafford, and then we also got Eminem at halftime. Man, Detroit, stand up. Everybody from the 313, put your... All right, now I'm not going to get into my B-Rabbit mode, but I do appreciate the fact that Matthew Stafford has proven to everybody that he was worth trading for. Because this wasn't about bringing Matthew Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams so they can have a good regular season, make the playoffs, make a good run. No, they brought him there to win a Super Bowl. One more game left. We'll see if they can do it.
Burleson taking it back to the shelter with everybody from the 313. Put your hands up and follow me.
One, it was a little heavy on the cleaver.
There's a banner that the Lions will soon share in Ford Field. 2021 season Super Bowl champion with the asterisk that said
former quarterback.
By our former quarterback.
That's kind of like Central Florida announcing themselves as the national champions.
That hangs next to Dagger Time.
Yeah, that and a 100-yard rusher once.
Shout out to Nate Burleson. Nate Burleson is a friend, very damn good at what he does, man. Damn good at his job.
And the Nickelodeon broadcast he crushes, too. I love those.
That?
Just a bad pizza delivery guy.
Yeah. Do you still believe that story?
I can't. So many people ask me about it. Yeah. My wife, my friend and I were talking about it, and my wife's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
The pizza.
The Joel Zumaya hurting his self-playing guitar hero.
I know.
Like, those two stories in Detroit lore.
Matt Anderson throwing the octopus.
Yeah, get
blowing
out
his arm out.
But you know what happens? It goes to, when we talk about with AB, AB, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Schilling, goes to likability. Everyone loves Nate Burleson.
Oh, yeah.
Nate Burleson's a stand-up guy, so you know what? You either act like it never happened or you give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, man, everybody was waiting for Stafford all playoffs to be Stafford. People are still waiting in the Super Bowl for Stafford to look like...
They want to laugh at him.
Because they want to say, I told you. They want to do the Braylon.
They want to laugh at him.
Listen, I'm kind of one of those guys, man. Like, not that I think Stafford's awful, but I've had many conversations that, listen, he's got to win the Super Bowl to get it done. And every time he gets closer, it's like, oof, I'm going to have to shut the hell up soon.
I think you got to shut up now.
No.
I think you got to shut up now.
I'm not shutting up. No,
he's already there.
He's 75% of the way there.
He won 3 playoff games.
Great, he won 3 playoff games.
He can't win a playoff game.
I never said he couldn't win a playoff game. I actually said we expected him to win a playoff. I think this is where people get my hate for my expectations. I expected Stafford to win at least 2 playoff games. Did I expect him to get to a Super Bowl? that's the job he had when he went out there because that's what they traded for. But I don't hate Matthew Stafford. I'm standing firm on this. He must win a Super Bowl in L.A. for that trade to pay off for L.A. Getting there.
Why? You have next year and the year after.
And I'm not discounting those years. I'm saying, but eventually you have to win the big game. He has an opportunity this year. I think his odds are great. I tweeted that out yesterday. Against Cincinnati, I favor them, and they're favored by what, 3.5 points at home.
He should win.
He should win.
Keyword should.
He should win.
But so should Patrick
But to
Mahomes,
me, he's not there yet. We can celebrate that he won the first playoff game. Great. That was a lazy playoff game against a team that the Lions. The playoff game against Tom Brady definitely deserves credit.
Snatch.
What if Stafford throws for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, but Joe Burrow throws for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns? You're going to count that against Stafford?
He didn't get the job done.
It's not. He's not playing defense.
See, we can't do this. It's like people that say wins aren't a quarterback stat. Well, Stafford won 3 playoff games this year, so are wins a quarterback stat?
Do you blame Josh Allen for losing to Patrick Mahomes?
No,
okay.
I don't. But at the end of the day, is Josh Allen playing in the Super Bowl? No. So I guarantee if you ask Josh Allen if this year was a failure for them, he'd say yes.
I agree with that.
Because he called tails.
I know, right? That's terrible.
Stupid
I agree with you on that one. It's funny though because if Matt Stafford, if that's why guys play defense as opposed to offense. That interception that he dropped, that's why guys play DB and not wide receiver.
I literally tweeted that.
But isn't it crazy if that guy catches that and they win that game? It's almost like everything that Stafford did up to that point. Slowly flutters out the window.
Well, and that's what we're talking about, the thin legacy. You know, like we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes had a bad half, and now all of a sudden, what's wrong with Patrick Mahomes? You know, like your legacy is so thin in the NFL. But back to that interception, Braylon. Has there ever been a moment in a game where you were that wide open and the ball's just coming at you and you're overthinking and you drop it?
Hey, thanks for putting me on blast there, buddy.
I'm asking. You can tell me no.
2 moments.
2 moments?
One, the light got in my eye, but it was dropped. So
it was the reflection from swamp gas from Mars.
Maz, you've been to the Sky Dome.
Oh yeah.
Sky Dome is the worst.
Easy to lose it.
Sky Dome is the worst lighting for football games. It's the dumbest thing ever. So this is my first year. I just got traded to the Jets. This is probably game 4. We're playing in the Sky Dome. We're in Toronto. And
was that for Buffalo?
It was Buffalo
because they couldn't play at home. They were playing in Toronto.
No,
at the time?
because they played it 1 game there a year. Remember they used to do the 1 game a year.
Yeah.
So I noticed that when we go bunch coverage, the DB plays off, plays real loose, chills, doesn't follow me all the way. So I tell Brian Schottenheimer, I say, yo, if we go bunch split and run like just a little bit of a hint and run a go route, I guarantee it'll be wide open. He listened to me. And we ran it. So I ran like a little stem release and gave him a little nod right there. Took off. I'm wide open. This would be 90 yards, longest touchdown in any time in my life. Them lights, I couldn't see nothing. And so I'm like, put my hands where the ball was, hit my face mask, and bounced off. And T.O., when I was laughing about it during the TV time, he was like, man, you got to catch that 17. So that was
right.
Thanks, T.O.
He was at the Bills at the time.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that was one. The light got in my eye, but hell, you know what? Got to make the catch. One that I just really dropped was similar play when I was with the Browns, and I was wide open middle of the field against the Ravens. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm about to. Oh shit! I forgot to catch the ball. So it's terrible feeling. Go ahead, mark that, Sam. Yeah. It's just a terrible feeling when you do it. Yeah, you're trying to catch it. You relax when it's easy.
Right.
Like when you're in that moment where it's just wide open, you're like, oh, this is too easy. And then you drop it. So it's tough.
You see it all the time with wide receivers. Like when they're wide open, they turn before they catch the ball. Just because there's nobody around me, I got to get this extra step in.
Look at that kid Skoranek yesterday from Notre Dame. Wide open in the end zone.
That one was tough because he was looking over here and it wound up over here. You know, that's still
there
tough.
was nobody near him.
Yeah, well, Kupp dropped one uncharacteristically too.
He did.
That's 2 games in a row.
By the way, you're worried about the one word he threw? How do you even look at Adams? How do you do Baydoun's show? What do you do?
Adam won't stop swearing.
It's like an S show.
Yeah,
is the whole show beeped?
Pretty much. Yeah, our poor sound guy that has to edit it before we send it to radio. It takes about 45 minutes for Adam's show. These shows pretty good. Adam's show a little bit different, but we started just on the web where we could swear, and now we're on the radio, and we got rules now.
I want to get somewhere because Sam in the booth is high on Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best player Sam has ever seen.
Sam knows his football.
Sam, talk to me about what you saw out of Patrick Mahomes yesterday. You said what? Oh, we're going to break. When we get back, I want you to talk about that, Sam. Go ahead, Stick.
We'll do that next right here on The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is the great Braylon Edwards, along with Maz, and, of course, Sam and Alex. We'll be right back.
Woodward Sports Network, Bottom Line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag. It's where I put my sports wagering in. Hit a couple of parlays yesterday. That's right. I had the Bengals and the under, and I had the 49ers plus 3.5 and the under. So
check you out.
I cashed in yesterday, so thank you to MyBookie. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't use the promo code Woodward because I'm already doing my gambling. But if you're a first-time gambler, you can use that promo code Woodward, double your first deposit all the way to $1,000. That's right. That's money in your pocket. Put $1,000 in, they give you $1,000. Put $100 in, they'll give you $100. Use that promo code Woodward when you go to mybookie.ag. It's simple. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please call the Gambling Problem Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani today. Braylon Edwards up here, and yeah, because Stafford's in the Super Bowl, we are throwing the Stafford Bowl party going on at the Brass Rail Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, pizza.
Yeah, you can come on down. We're going to have a whole section. The whole Woodward Sports crew is going to be there. So if you've been a part of this thing and you want to hang out and party for the Super Bowl, there's only one place to be, or we got to quit calling it the Super Bowl. It's the Stafford Bowl.
The Stafford Bowl.
Yeah, we're going to be down there doing a live pregame from 4:30 to 6:30 right before kickoff, and then we're going to hang out at the Brass Rail. They're bringing in some big projector TVs. We got DJs coming in.
Oh, man.
It's going to be a hell of a party downtown, and you know, if Stafford gets his Super Bowl, Adam's going to be down there, and I'm afraid of what he's going to bring to this party.
He might have a live goat.
Not after that night.
Speaking of my bookie and prop bets, congratulations to
Thank you.
hitting those. Let me tell you like this. If I would have hit this one bet, I would have paid for the Stafford Bowl party.
You were going to buy me a bowling ball.
I don't. Exactly. I still buy you a bowling ball. Right. But literally, I don't want to say what the price was. Just know it was all winnings that was bet with. I stood to win, $7,200 on the easy bet.
Man.
Legitimately. Here's the bet. You ready for this? Jimmy G, I know this was tough, 250 plus. And then Deebo Samuel, 75 plus. With 3 possessions left in the game, Jimmy G was at 235.
Oh, God.
Deebo was at 72. 3 possessions.
Just one screen.
3 possessions.
Just one screen pass.
Oh, my God.
I needed 18 yards and 3 possessions.
Yep.
Tebow took a beating.
Yeah, he did. He's been taking a beating all year.
And he broke down at the end of the game, and who was there for him?
OBJ.
Yeah, Lynch.
No, OBJ came over, gave him a hug.
OBJ was hugging on him.
Yeah, on the
like
sideline.
OBJ has turned into a man overnight. Like,
he's a new man.
Because I was in the camp of thinking he was a problem in New York, he was a problem in Cleveland, but he goes there and he doesn't have the pressure of being the number one guy. He's turned into a hell of a teammate, a tough competitor.
He's hugging his mom at the end of the game.
And like we were talking, just he's revolutionizing the possession wide receiver.
Yeah, you know what though, and I think the criticism of OBJ has been unfair in his career. And I'll say this: OBJ is very passionate. OBJ wanted to win. What did we just talk about with Matt Stafford? We said the situation in Detroit was very negligent. Is that not the situation with the Giants? Now, I know Giants fans are still pissed about the boat trip. Don't bring that up. Maz get mad. So obviously,
I'm still mad.
So obviously the boat trip.
Yeah, it was a lack of judgment.
Exactly. Lack of judgment. The boat trip, boom. Couple things on the sideline, etc. That's inexperienced, and that's nobody's holding him accountable. So he had to learn, stub his toe. But he's always been a good guy.
Yep.
He's always been very passionate. He's always worked hard. There's one thing you can't say about him is those 3. So sometimes you just have to get to a space where people judge you. As soon as they saw him kick that net in 2015, that was it.
Well, it's that the net punched back and gave him a black eye. Like, you can't lose a fight to a net.
It whooped him. And then he's very, he dances and he does that. Yep. And sometimes people just want you to be seen and not heard. hurt. They want you to score touchdowns. And be
I
like
think the worst thing that ever happened to him was the one-hand catch.
The worst thing?
That's the best thing that ever happened to him.
I disagree because I think he changed after that.
No, he was always a diva coming out of college and everything. You should have seen him and Jarvis Landry dancing in college.
I'm a Giants fan, all right? But I'm taking it from the Giants' point of view.
But that set him in well, the Giants didn't do right by any of their players, not just him, but that set him in motion for, like, life.
Right.
Like, he's a storied icon player for that moment. That catch was amazing.
Well, Sam, we talked about your love for Patrick Mahomes right before we went to break. And
15.
I want to hear your explanation about Mr. Patrick
break
Mahomes.
the game
and
down
what
for
do you
us, too.
say about your boy blowing it in the second
Sam.
half?
My man Sam, what you got for me on Patrick Mahomes? Don't worry, I'll let you go.
I got to level with you guys. I'm devastated. I was devastated last night, and it hasn't gotten any better. I can't explain what happened in the second half. I can't defend it. He didn't look like himself. He was one of the worst combinations you can be. He was tentative, yet reckless. I've never seen him like that. He threw 2 interceptions. He was missing wide open maybe not wide open receivers, but like not hitting him in the hands. And he had a 21-3 lead, and it all started. Ooh. It all started.
Andy Reid.
Well, he wasn't great either, but it all started on the 1-yard line when they didn't. I believe if they would have got that touchdown, that would have been the kill shot. It would have been 28-10. Even if they get a field goal,
kill shot.
Yes, it would have been the kill shot. Maybe not a field goal, the kill shot, but 21-10. I actually tweeted the Chiefs just let the Bengals back in the game, and they did. And I was worried from then on. I can't defend it, but I'm not going to let people say that he still doesn't have a chance to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
He already is.
Yes, his first 4 seasons, and here I am going to defend him. Arguably the best start to a career anyone has ever had. Still, 4 divisions, 4 AFC Championship game appearances, 1 Super Bowl win, and another Super Bowl appearance, and an MVP, and another year in 2020 where he probably could have won it. So, but he definitely did drop the ball in the second half, and I am still absolutely devastated. I didn't want to come in today, but I always got to be here.
I see you.
Woodward Sports.
Thanks for toughing it out with us today, Sam.
So shout out to my man Sam over there. I appreciate you for saying that. You know what I'm saying? Before I go here, I got to give love to my man Patrick Mahomes. Just in the sense, you know, 4 times in a row he's been AFC Championship. All were home field advantages. 2 times he was number 1 seed, 2 times he was number 2 seed. That's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Won Super Bowl, and he was 2 offensive linemen away from winning another. But that's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. What I want to talk about is he just wasn't there yesterday. Like, I saw 4 plays, and let me tell you 4 plays I'm talking about.
He sounds just like Stephen A. Smith, man.
No. I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. You know when he does this thing where he goes one way and reverses and goes up? What the hell is that? What is that? He did it 4 times. I'm just saying. Nah, but being honest though, he just really
keep going.
No, but see, I can't do it too, but I gotta save it. But he did that thing where he literally goes one way, spins out and goes the other way. He did that 4 times, and 3 of them ended up being sacked. He just looked like he was a lackluster. Like, I don't know what was going on, but either he didn't take the Cincinnati Bengals serious, either he didn't take the game serious, or maybe he was injured. I did hear something come out about some injuries. I'm not giving that as
Everybody's
an excuse.
injured at this point in the season,
Everybody's
right?
been injured since August.
Yeah, right.
But it just looked different. Like, if you're gonna call somebody great, which he's almost great.
Borderline,
like,
right?
Yeah, he's almost great. You gotta be accountable to that greatness. You gotta be accountable to that moment. When you do 1 reverse spin and it doesn't work, then this is where you gotta tell yourself, I can't do that stuff again, et cetera, et cetera. He was the reason for a lot of the inconsistencies of the offense in the second half.
It's just crazy to see his fall from greatness because, like we were talking earlier in the show, you know, he wins that Super Bowl last year. It's, my God, this guy is the best quarterback we've ever seen in the NFL, period. Yeah. And then 2 back-to-back games in the playoffs just kind of, You know, it seems like the defense has figured him out. Like last year, I thought Tampa Bay changed that, man.
Yeah.
Like they changed the way they play. And then, you know, you see the Bengals kind of institute some of what Tampa Bay did last year in this year's playoffs and shut them down in the second half. Just really bizarre to start off a first half like that on fire. You know, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. You have 21-3, and then just
nothing.
No momentum. It all just goes away. It's
they
weird.
went away from Jerick McKinnon too, which I really wasn't a fan of at all. The interesting thing about it is if he just would have had that game yesterday where he took a deuce in the second half, you can say, you know what? It happens.
Right.
I've seen Brady take a deuce in the second half of an AFC championship game against Peyton Manning and a couple other times. So it happens. But it's not just this game. Go back to the season. When Patrick Mahomes, when they went on that 8-game winning streak, 7, because they lost to the Bengals. They lost to the Bengals. When they went on that 7-game winning streak, they didn't go on it because of him. They went on it because they figured the defense out. Chris Jones, Bolton, Ingram, Tyrann Mathieu. They were playing really well on defense. Wasn't because of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes didn't have a game that we realized and we said, oh, I recognize that guy. That's him. Until the second to last game of the season. And then he had it against Pittsburgh. Does Pittsburgh really count? And then he had it in the second round. He struggled all year, and the crazy thing about it, he's still top 5 in every category in the league.
He was a horrible fantasy quarterback this year.
Terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
People that took him really early, I know fantasy, who cares? I just wanted to make a mention of it. But you want to say one thing, it's good that he's not there anymore. That we don't have to see Brittany or Jackson Mahomes anymore this year. Goodbye, good riddance. Oh, man. Just get a life,
he needs to get a job. That's what he needs. He needs to get a job.
What you need to do is get yourself a job.
You need to get a job, man.
Berkeley wouldn't be doing that to you.
Oh, hell no.
I was hoping some Bengals fans found Brittany yesterday and just sprayed her with champagne and saying, I can do what I want.
Did they do that to her?
I was hoping.
I
was hoping.
That would have been nice.
Champagne shower the hell out of that girl. So, Braylon, we were talking about maybe some people leaving, and you're a Michigan man, and there's a Michigan man that may be on his way out. And I think a lot of people in the chat want to hear.
He's a double Michigan man.
Yeah, want to hear your opinion about it and your perspective on it. So we're going to talk a little Jim Harbaugh and Michigan coming up next. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Planet Fitness is home of the Judgment Free. Actually, let me start over.
There we go.
Shout out to the Planet Fitness studio. We got the studio done on Friday, man, and it looks amazing. You can see it down there in the screen to the right. Great studio. I like the color. Brings out the brown in my eyes, man. You know what I'm saying? But Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. I don't know about you. I like to do my own thing. Don't want to be bothered, and that's what Planet Fitness allows you to do. Membership is just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10. That's right,
Hell
Sharon.
yeah.
$10, or you can get the black card for $22.99. You want to know about the black card?
That's what Jay-Z
has. He ain't the only one. Black card members enjoy the use of amenities such as unlimited tanning, Alex, hydro massage, massage chairs, Maz, that's for you. We got to get you the massage chair right there, man.
All right.
Massage chairs and total body enhancement along with access to over 2,000 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. Join today in club or online at www.planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness by you. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. Planet Fitness.
Yeah, and you mentioned we got our new studio wrap done. That was done by Sticker Genius. They came in, and these guys were machines. They knocked this out in literally like 12 hours. It was crazy. Ooh. Friday, right after the show,
I was here.
We tore down everything.
I was giving good moral content. I was cracking jokes.
You were coaching. You were motivating us.
I wasn't painting and priming, but I was,
Alex Mayer, got to give him a shout out for being an absolute champion.
Nick
staying
Leach.
Late Friday night. Nick Leach. Joey, and Sticker Genius came in here, and they did a great job. If you see, you can see right behind Braylon, the Planet Fitness sticker is perfect. The Woodward Sports sticker. If you look in Sam's booth, you see they wrapped the whole inside. If you look at Alex Mayer's booth, you can see they wrapped the whole inside. I mean, this whole studio they redid, and they did a great job. So shout out to Sticker Genius for coming in clutch and helping us with this new design. And thank you for Planet Fitness for sponsoring the new studio.
Planet Fitness.
This is the Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards. And it's time to time to talk some Michigan.
Let's
Michigan
do it.
football. Jim Harbaugh, rumored this weekend, or actually not rumored, confirmed this weekend that he was up in Minnesota or had a Zoom with Minnesota talking to them about their current head coach vacancy. And here's a tweet that was put out by Jeremy Fowler. It says, Jim Harbaugh conveyed legitimate interest in the Vikings head coaching job during his interview with the team, per source. With Minnesota coming away feeling Harbaugh is ready for a return to the NFL. As of now, he is still considered in the mix for that job.
He wants out, man.
Now, Braylon. Maz, you think he wants out? Braylon?
Totally.
You think he wants out?
So, the whole time we've been talking about this, I said I don't think he's going to go.
Okay.
And I've just been watching it come out. I've been waiting week to week. We're on, day 40 of the Jim Harbaugh leaving Michigan watch. And before I really broke the situation down, I'm like, he's not going anywhere. Him and his wife, they're comfortable. He's got Michigan right where they want him to be. He's 58. He's cool. He's comfortable. He wants his son. Ultimately, he wants Jay Harbaugh to be the head coach. Like, that's the lineage that he wants to pass down.
Okay.
So it just seems like an easy, just stay, just chill. You don't want to go back there. Also, you go to the NFL, you could be gone 2 years later. So why leave a great situation when you can go 2 years, get canned, and now you're knocking on Ward's door like, hey, man, y'all still got that job. Is it cool if I come back? So I was thinking about it from that standpoint. And also, every time they mention him, they mention the Raiders. Then it didn't seem like there was the interest that we thought. Right. They mentioned the Dolphins. Stephen Ross said no, but now it's still kind of floating around.
Yeah, is that kind of a slow play for the Dolphins?
It's kind of
that's
like,
what I'm feeling.
It's kind of like when Tom Brady says, 45. It's a deflection. But they mentioned the Bears in one phone conversation. It's like they just keep mentioning teams. I think he wants to leave, but the problem is he going to be able to? I think for Jim, he's nervous about what that Michigan team is going to be in moving forward because they're losing a lot. They lost they lost 3 coaches so far this offseason. You lost a lot of talent, a lot of players. I don't think he thinks he can duplicate what he did this year. So now he's clamoring to get out because it's the right time. He did everything he said he was going to do at Michigan, so now is the right time to get out. Only problem is, do they really want him? Yeah, I was wondering what that was, a ghost in here or something.
Rats in the wall or something?
Oh, man, that's tough. I don't mess with rats. Y'all can do the rest of the show by yourself. I think the office is right there, too.
Oh, yeah, the bank right behind us.
The bank office is
That's
right
what happens when you're right here in downtown Birmingham, right here on Woodward. But finish your thought, Braylon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's distracting.
No, I think it's one of those situations where he did everything he said he was going to do. There's inconsistency and a lot of questions about what's going to happen with this year coming up. So he's like, shoot, you know what? I got to get out of here. Plus, I want to get back to the NFL. Like, it didn't go so well. It didn't end the way I wanted it to in 2014 or 2015. So I think he's trying to get out. The only problem is, does anybody really, really want him? Because of, like Hondo said, he wears coaches, players, and the building out.
Mike McDonald, he bailed. He went over to his brother, John Harbaugh, where he originally came from.
Yeah.
It's every man for himself right now at Michigan. I think Jim he wants out for sure. Otherwise, wouldn't he have signed already, Braylon? Because there is a deal out there. Am I not right?
Yeah, there is a deal out there right now, and this is coming from our man John Bacon. What's up, John? Says that there is a deal on the table. It's not more than Mel Tucker, but it is a serious offer.
That's so dumb, though, that they're not even going to match the Mel Tucker deal.
But
maybe they're waiting for help.
But here's the interest. Matt took the words out of my mouth. I think they bought their deal from the University of Michigan, Ward, Manual, the Regents. They bought what they were going to pay, and now, like Matt said, they're waiting for Stephen Ross or Fred Wilpon. Insert one of Michigan's 90 million billionaires.
Deep pockets.
I think they're waiting for that to happen, but Harbaugh's trying to get the hell out of there.
You brought up the point that Harbaugh, sometimes his message gets worn out after a while, and Alex is throwing this up right now. Buyout for Michigan football head coach Jim Harbaugh, who recently interviewed for the vacant head coach position of the Minnesota Vikings, would only be $1.5 million. And that's because he restructured his contracts when they weren't doing so well last year. But with Jim Harbaugh, you brought up the point that his message, it wears on people. Wouldn't that benefit him to stay on college, though, because you're getting a cycle of kids every year? Like every 4 years, you're overturning your entire roster, right? In the NFL, it's not that way. So you may have a guy coaching 6-7 years. You're coaching the same player. Doesn't the message get lost earlier on that guy than the college kid, or is it because they're a pro they'll probably handle that message a little bit better over time.
So 2 things. One, it's not necessarily the message that gets worn out. It's how he wears players out in terms of the long hours, like the extra work that they do, like the way he talk, like the way in which he talks to players, the way in which they practice, the way in which they wear full pads all year long. Like good teams, they wear full pads like once a week in the first 3 weeks. After that, it's shorts and shells, and you kind of, guy by so you guys don't get injured. You take care of yourself. So more from a physical and mental standpoint, he just beats you down and beats you down.
Do you think you could play for him?
Huh?
Do you think you could play for him?
I did.
I mean, do you think you'll play for him now, the way he is now?
Nah, man, my knee hurts. No, but I think he's gotten better as it relates to that. You saw the players liked him this year. So I think he's gotten better. But the other thing is, Maz brings this up all the time. If you're in college now, you legitimately are recruiting the kids on your team every year.
Right.
You gotta persuade them not to leave, not to jump in the transfer portal. Like that gets to be annoying. You gotta recruit. You gotta go into these living rooms. He's 58. I don't want to go in these living rooms anymore. I don't want to be dealing with these young kids. Then not only that, who else do you gotta deal with? Their parents.
Right. Worst.
The parents are the problem.
Little Billy's not playing. Well, tell little Billy to hit the damn weight room.
Exactly. So I think from that standpoint, Harbaugh was like, man, I can go to the NFL and not have to deal with this stuff. I've done everything I said I was going to do for Michigan. He didn't say he was going to win the national championship. He said beat Ohio State, win the Big Ten. So he's done, and he said he will win at a higher clip than they have been winning at. He's done everything he said he wanted to. It's a lot of questions about next year. I'm out. So
you think he's gone?
If somebody will have him.
Okay.
Yeah. The jobs are what? We got 7 jobs left.
Yeah, I think the main three are Miami, now Minnesota, and we were thinking Las Vegas, but it looks like they're going Josh
Maybe
McDaniel,
Jacksonville.
Right?
Nah,
would you want to go after Urban? That may be the ultimate slap in the face to go turn that around.
And then have success.
Good point.
Yeah.
They're not hiring a college coach.
No, not at all.
Good point. I hear that Brian Flores is in Houston today, and he might not get out the door.
If I'm Houston, whatever Brian Flores needs to stay, he's not leaving Houston.
Him and Nick Caserio, the GM, got a good thing going together, so we'll see.
I'll let Paul Wall come over, hang out with him, give him his own grill, pay him off, whatever I got to do to keep that man.
Chameleon there.
Yeah.
Put Chameleon there.
Riding dirty.
You see me rolling.
Yeah, whatever he has to do to stay in Houston, that's their best look at a new coach, man.
I'm just nervous for Michigan going forward now. I think, especially what they did to Ohio State this year. I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch that game next year if Harbaugh and that crew isn't on that sideline. I'm not sure if I want to watch it, even though he's on that sideline.
After the whole being born on third comment.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous going forward.
I'm not nervous about the offense. They still have 3 of their starting offensive linemen are returning. They also picked up Virginia's center from last year, who he was up for the Remington.
Yep.
Imagine being up for an award, the best player in the country, and leaving that school to go to a new one. So they pick up him as a center. That's going to be a hell of a pickup for them. You still got 2 tight ends that are really good schoolmakers as well as all. You bring back Ronnie Bell. You're going to start J.J. McCarthy.
Donovan
You got Donovan Edwards and Corm in the backfield.
Wait a minute, you're starting J.J.?
You got
100%.
Oh,
yeah. Cade took you to the Final Four.
Get him out.
It doesn't matter.
Stay out.
So did Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
You gotta your job is to win. Like when you talk to kids and you're bringing them in, the conversation that you have with them is, hey, look, you're gonna come to this school. You're gonna get an opportunity to start. Like, we love you, but you got to prove it. Like, that's what Nick Saban tells guys. Hell, what's his name from Kentucky? Calipari?
Yeah.
Calipari tells his players every year, look, you got 1 year. He said, because I'm going to have another 5 cats from the McDonald's All-American game, so you better one and done it. You know what I'm saying? It's not promised.
Literally 5 cats, Wildcats.
Matt's on a roll today, Dad jokes galore.
There you go, baby.
But good dad jokes. Yeah, man. It's like one of those situations like Calipari is like, hey, I don't know, man.
All right. Well, we'll find out what happens with Jim Harbaugh when we find out what happens with Jim Harbaugh. I mean, I kind of think he's using this NFL as kind of a money play, but if Michigan says they already have money on the table and he's not turning it down but not accepting it.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, they don't have an NIL deal yet.
Yeah.
That's true. That's the real key.
How the hell is that possible at the University of Michigan with all the money that flows through that place?
They want to pay their players like these other schools are paying. They'll pay little.
You're going to let a state college outspend you, Michigan? A state college?
Michigan is very arrogant.
They are, man.
Michigan's always been arrogant. I told you the Lloyd Carr story. That's just how Michigan is cut.
Word in Oakland, by the way, not Oakland, Vegas, is that they'll sign their They'll have their press conference today with
Rich
Josh
Bisaccia.
McDaniel.
Well,
Rich Bisaccia is somewhere else. Where did he go?
Where'd he go?
He is going to Jags.
Yep, they're interviewing him.
They're talking to Rich Bisaccia.
If I'm Rich Bisaccia, I don't know if I want to go there and try to turn that around. I might stay as a defensive coordinator.
No, I'm
Vegas.
taking my head coaching job.
Me too.
Come on, you saw what I could do with half the season and the turmoil
You got
that
Trevor
the Raiders
Lawrence,
had.
man.
And well, that's yet to be seen what Trevor Lawrence is.
Yeah, I mean, you had pieces that were ready. Max Crosby, insert player here that the Vegas Raiders had, and they were good. You got to go down there to Jacksonville. I don't know enough about Rich Bisaccia to know if he can go down to the Jacksonville Jaguars and turn that around. What I do know about him is that his team in Vegas loves him. He did that job well. He loves Derek Carr. They work well together. Yep. I know that. I don't know enough to know if he could turn that organization around.
Well, speaking of guys that are growing and speaking of guys that we love, Cade Cunningham had a pretty decent game last night for the Detroit Pistons. And we're running short on time, so we're going to spend a quick segment on that, and then we're going to get to Maz's videos of the day coming up next.
We call this Braylon's basketball
Hey,
minute.
man, we got to save that. There we go. Man. So we got to save that. We got to save that.
We'll do that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Catch. Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Soon coming to Woodward Sports, that is right here, the Sports Marketing Agency podcast, which I will be a part of. This is the F Word series on fentanyl and the harms that it is doing to the community, especially here in the state of Michigan. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to SportsMA, thesportsma.com.
Great.
SMA, baby.
Yeah, great podcast that'll be coming here to the Woodward Sports Network. I mean,
it's just good conversation. Like, people need to be educated and people need to know what's going on, how to stay away, how to help other people.
Yep.
Everybody knows somebody, has somebody that is struggling with something as it relates to.
Or is somebody.
Oh, exactly.
No.
Like with substance abuse or mental health issues. So it's just normalcy. That's what the SMA is doing. It's about destigmatizing mental health as well as substance abuse.
Yeah, conversation. Always good things. Always good to put those things out there. This is The Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani today. Braylon Edwards is here. And last night at LCA, it was the battle for Rookie of the Year, Evan Mobley versus Cade Cunningham. And Cade Cunningham came out in the fourth quarter and absolutely took over the game. Wound up with his second career triple-double, putting up 14, 10, and 10. And ironically, I was up late last night. I couldn't fall asleep for some reason. I wasn't able to watch the Piston game live, but it was on replay. So about 1:30 in the morning, I got to rewatch that fourth quarter, and this step back by Cade was just cold-blooded. And he hit two of those down the stretch in the fourth quarter. But look at the fans at LCA, man. They were having a good time last night. Cade Cunningham is evolving into the superstar we all thought he was. He's putting up Jordan stat lines. He's crossing people over. I'm excited about the future of the Pistons, especially with this young man at the helm.
What do you think of the Cavs?
Who?
Oh, that's what I was going to
Cavaliers. That's not a bad matchup going forward.
Mobley and Cade are going to be a good, draft class comparison for a long time, and I love Cade had a great quote about it. He said, Mobley's good at what he does. I can't do that. I'm good at what I do. He can't do this, but it's a good matchup.
Yeah, and Cleveland Cavaliers are actually really good right now. They're a playoff team this year, so that actually was a good win for Cade and the Pistons yesterday.
Yeah, they're 30-20.
Exactly.
Wow. And they get the All-Star game.
I know, right? Crowd. Anyway, Cade, I think Cade wasn't a sexy pick. And I think like watching Cade, like from the time we drafted him to the time he got here to the injuries to now, I think he's not a sexy pick. So I think when you watch him early on, it's like he doesn't wow you early on. So like when people look at a number 1 pick, you want to be wild. You want to see LeBron James, Derrick Rose, like that's what you want. That's what LeBron James. It's like that's what
you want. The flash. That's what Jalen Green was.
Exactly.
Jalen Green was the
100%.
flash.
You want the flash, the pizzazz, the pow, the wow. But what you're getting out of Cade Cunningham is a guy that is mature for his age at this position. He's a leader. You've seen that since when the preseason, when they were doing like the preseason games. Just a leader talking to his guys. He plays defense, which is great. He's not going to be a guy that's ever going to score 32 a game. He's not going to average 32 for a season, but he will average 22. He will average 9, and he will average 8. That would be something. Don't get me wrong. He'll probably get to a point where he may have 26, 27. But the guy scores. He plays on both ends. He works with his leader. So as the season's gone on, you're like, you know what? I like this guy. I see him for the future, and I can trust in this guy. I think that's what you want to see from a first pick is trust.
Yeah, he's just calm. He's composed. He's under control at all times. You rarely see him like just doing something extra.
Yeah.
He just plays within himself. And last night's game, to your point, he had a big steal late in that game too that helped them get the lead because they were down by quite a bit and they had to come back. I think they went on like a 21-0 run in the 4th or something like that to get the lead. But yeah, Cade Cunningham, I can't speak highly enough about him. This year's Pistons team has been very frustrating for me to watch. I had more fun watching last year's team, but I'm having more fun watching Cade as an individual. And watching him grow. So the future for the Pistons looks definitely bright.
I think what also, like, Maz, you can speak to this is, and like I said, I'm not a Detroit Lions fan, but I am a fan of the city.
Right.
I want the city to do well, and for the city to do well, you got to win. You want to be able to trust your star players for your franchise, and I think he's a person that will ingratiate himself to the community. I think he'll be a guy that will be great for years moving forward, kind of like a Joe Dumars.
Right.
Like I think he'll be better than Joe Dumars, but in terms of Joe Dumars, great player on the court, great in the community, that type of guy. That's what I see from Cade Cunningham. I don't think he might ever leave if they get a couple other guys.
Well, and look at each one of our 4 professional teams right now. Look at the young guys we have to build around. All rookies,
Lucas Raymond.
For the Tigers, you got Green, you got Torkelson, you got Sider, you got Raymond, Panay Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, both rookies this year. And then we got Cade. It's like the young guns here in Detroit are really exciting.
Yeah, and moving forward, look what the Red Wings are a playoff team. Like they are right there. They're right on the cusp. You saw how the Tigers ended the season. You see they had a Javi Baez. You see they had a Tucker Barnhart. So you're excited about that. There is a lot of optimism. And obviously Panay Sewell, Dan Campbell. There's a lot of optimism around Detroit sports right now, and rightfully so.
By the way, basketball fans, I'm telling you, in another month, HBO is going to have that series on the Lakers.
Oh, the Magic?
The Showtime Lakers. You might want to save some money and get HBO Max come March 4th because it looks phenomenal.
You think they're going to talk about the Phantom Foul?
I think they're going to talk about a lot of things that we want to know about. John C. Reilly is in this thing.
Oh, nice.
I know what I want to find out about. But also, they got 3 good things that are nostalgic pieces that HBO is doing this coming year. They got the Magic Johnson piece.
Oh, yeah.
They got the House Party remake, House Party movie. Shout out to all my 90s babies. The House Party remake. And they also have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake. So HBO, they on a nostalgic run.
I love it. Yeah, because they're out of new ideas.
I know, right?
And they realize anybody that spends money now is about 35, 40 years old. So let's play to that crowd.
And they're watching Ozark.
Yeah, they're smart.
Oh,
smart, man. Do it. I mean, honestly, Cobra Kai is probably the best remake I've ever seen of anything ever.
Everybody talks about Cobra Kai.
It's amazing.
It's phenomenal.
At the Rumble party at my house on Saturday, we were talking about Cobra Kai. I was like, y'all watch that show? They made me watch a couple episodes. It's not bad.
No, you got to be hooked, man. They did such a great job. All right, when we come back, we got Maz's videos of the day right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Knock us right off the air.
My name is Stick. Filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Braylon catches TDs.
On the slant, there goes Braylon Edwards. Edwards on a foot race, and no one's going to get near him. 80 yards for the touchdown.
Ryan catches Pokemon. We all have our strengths. The bottom line on Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, Michigan, run by Chris and Noni. What is folding? It's throwing football out of bowling pins. Yes, it's fun. Bring your corporate event there, your team building event, any way you want to do it. Couple ways to play. 2 ways to play, actually. $10 unlimited open play. You can go when they open, and you can get out when they close. Or you can have a private lane reservation as well if you'd prefer. They got over 100 beers, that $2 mystery beer machine, multiple open, full bars. Not open, you got to pay for them. Of course, you can bring your own food in or have it delivered. Otherwise, we'd all be there right now, right?
Happy's Pizza.
Open bar, dude! Open bar at the Folding Warehouse, dude! Tell them Maz sent you.
Put it on Maz's tab.
At thefoldingwarehouse.com.
Welcome back to the bottom line on the Woodward Sports Network. It's that time of the show where we get to Maz's videos of the day. What you got for us today, Maz?
What you got, Maz?
Yesterday, Braylon was tweeting back and forth, and he's like, Isaiah Thomas is the greatest point guard who ever lived. And I know, he's our Detroit guy. He's our guy. He's our Piston. And I'm like, hey, this guy called. 26 years ago, it's the Magic Show. He was back on the court.
Here you go. Here you go.
Out to Magic Johnson. The Magic gives to Peeler for a 3. Got it. There's his first assist.
Byron Scott knocking down that 3?
No, that's Pillar. Anthony Pillar.
Oh, wow. I forgot about Pillar.
Oh,
there's Magic.
As Magic picked up some weight.
Yeah, wasn't even in good shape.
Look at that fake. But honestly, what is Sprewell doing? Who's he going to pass it to? Out of bounds?
The cameraman.
He was looking for PJ Carlissimo.
That's the beautiful thing about Magic. I mean, he started in all 5 positions in his playing career in the NBA. When they put him at center in the NBA Finals, what do you do? Have a triple-double?
And won Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Won the game on hook shot.
Out of Michigan State,
that.
Right, Alex?
Michigan State.
Look at that baby hook.
He's also part of the most watched college championship of all time.
Magic and Bird.
Indiana State.
1979.
This is Michigan State.
Oh, man. So Magic wanted to just remind you that he is the man.
I tell you like this, Isaiah Thomas is 2 plays away from having 4 championships. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right,
that phantom foul, man.
That's all I'm saying.
You know what bothers me the most about that phantom foul?
You talk about that 27 points on that broken ankle. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing
in
some
a
stuff
loss
out there.
too, man.
No, they won.
No, that was Game 6. They lost.
27, they won that game, and then he couldn't play Game 7 because of his ankle. They lost Game 7.
Oh, man. But, yeah,
David Stern. Adrenaline only.
Yeah,
David Stern had a picture
too.
of the phantom foul up in his office in the NBA. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes.
Wow.
They hated us.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I mean, they still do. Like, that's why they changed the rules after the 04 Pistons won.
But rightfully so, though. They should have hated us, and I don't mind they did. We were the basketball version of the Raiders. Like, you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get when you come up. We're going to beat you up. We're not going to apologize for it. We're going to take all the fines that you give us. Detroit versus everybody was born with the bad boy Pistons.
Isaiah Thomas literally said that in the Bad Boys for 30 for 30. He said they thought we were the Raiders, so we're like, we're going to be the Raiders. And then the Raiders sent them all like gear and stuff like that.
The cartoon shirts?
Yeah.
Those cartoons, those were great.
Did you ever have one of the big heads and the little bodies?
I had the black one.
Or the Hammer Time black shirt. Ooh. Oh, man, those were such fun days.
That was dope, man.
They got that bad boy gear out. You ever see all that bad boy gear?
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad.
Man, it's
not
awesome.
bad.
Zeke was cold, man.
I know.
Zeke was just so fun to watch. 1, Detroit. 2, we're winning championships. And 3, the skill that he had, those like the point guards today got all that from Zeke.
Right.
That's how Zeke played in the 80s, like the Kyrie, the dribbling, the handling, getting to the rim, little man getting there, shaking it up. Like Zeke was doing that. Kind of like Earl to Pearl Monroe.
Sometimes Zeke looked like it was the Harlem Globetrotters out there. I remember one play where he's sliding on the ground while still dribbling and keeping his dribble.
That was at the Silverdome.
Yeah.
That's when they were still playing at the Silverdome.
Yeah, what a weird scene to have a basketball game at the Silverdome.
With the curtain. The curtain.
Just
and
no
the water
vibe.
leaking.
No vibe.
I think the other thing that Detroit fans loved about Zeke, super soft-spoken, but you know he'll beat you up. Like when he beat up Lambeer, you like, how did this little dude beat up this?
Punched him right in the face.
You knew he was about that business, and that's why we love Zeke.
Hey, let's take you back to 2017. It is Villanova against Virginia. It was a fun game. David DiVincenzo with the tip-in to win this one, but I'm only playing it because Gus Johnson's on the call.
DiVincenzo.
Hart on the wing, 4 to shoot. Hart to the bucket. DiVincenzo good, and Villanova wins it. Dante DiVincenzo.
Man.
The big ragu.
The big ragu.
The big ragu.
That's it. You can bring it down.
It's a DiVincenzo.
The big ragu.
Josh Hart. Hey man, don't put DiVincenzo up there again. You remember what he did to Michigan in the national championship game? If that joker could shoot free throws, he would have 50 points.
Yep.
He had 39 and he missed like 12 free throws. He
single-handedly.
Us.
He's in the league now too.
He plays for the Bucks.
Yeah, plays a little bit.
He
not
was
a ton.
injured last year.
He could shoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, DiVincenzo.
Hey, I leave you with Joey Molinaro is a great comedian. I played him on Friday. I forgot who did I have him imitating on Friday?
Shoot.
Stephen A. Smith.
No, it wasn't Stephen A. Smith. Chris Collinsworth.
Chris Collinsworth. Right. Today,
yeah.
he is imitating Nick Saban. Check this out.
This should be good.
You want me to do what now? A gritty? What the hell's a gritty? If you're a gritty player, I'd love to have you come play for me. Look, I don't dance unless it's with Miss Terry. And I haven't done that since our wedding day, and that was over 50 years ago, and quite frankly, she was lucky I did it then, and I haven't done it since. I don't run a nightclub, I run a football program. A football program that just lost in the national championship, and now everybody wants me out here doing the gritty. I mean, unless you're the second coming of Lawrence Taylor or Deion Sanders in the Affleck commercials, which I didn't even dance in those, it's not going to happen, all right?
That is it, man. Joey Molinaro, he is a great follow, and obviously does great work. You know what I forgot to put in today? Was Family Guy was at it again.
Family.
Did you see him again this weekend?
No.
B. Kelly.
Brian Kelly was at it again with these videos. They're just wacky, freaking videos. It's so cringeworthy,
well,
man.
Got to do the recruiting.
He is something, man.
Was he doing it with his family?
He was doing it with different players again.
Yeah, he's all jokes aside, he's still going to win that championship within 2 years.
Hey, YT Sparty wanted me to play the Michigan State highlights, so I'll leave that up to Alex from this past weekend.
No, you deserve to play that. They won by 16. It was a good game by Michigan State. 8 of 12 3-point, 56% field goal. They played well, turned the ball over 13 times. Michigan matched them. The only thing Michigan did well, and I was pissed at, is they out-rebounded them on the offensive side. I thought for 16 offensive rebounds, they should have had more points, and I was very, very unhappy with that.
Well, we got all week to talk some more college basketball, obviously more football throughout the week because we are leading up to Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you guys for being a part of the show today, everybody in the chat, everybody that's watching, listening on the radio, downloading the app, thank you very much. Yep. My name is Stick, that is Sam, that is Maz, that is Alex, and of course, this is Braylon Edwards. We are the Bottom Line.
Woodward Sports Network. Ryan, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll
Come back,
you, buddy.
Ryan.
Bottom Line.
Get well, buddy.
Here. See ya.
Is this kind of what you thought it would be like?
This is a whole lot better than what I thought it was going to be like, man. This is an unbelievable team, unbelievable atmosphere tonight. Thank you guys for coming out and making it loud and proud, and I'm so happy to be a part of this team, man. These guys out here, I'm looking at these faces, put so much work into this thing. This is for everybody. I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah.